Oh, happy Sunday. How's it going? Looking to hopefully do about 2 hours tonight, boys and girls. We'll see how things go. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Arabs are coming, broski. I didn't even think about putting a. That's a good point. I didn't even think of putting an Arab country on there, or did I? It's not a bad shout. Miracle all day. Yeah, we could get an and still situation in about 25 years. There's a lot that can happen between now and then. But how's everyone doing? How did we enjoy the card last night? Parlay tanked like a absolute bitch again. It seems I cannot catch a break when it comes to betting on the UFC, and we all know why. It has nothing to do with me being absolutely terrible at gambling and being terrible at picks. They're just cheating. That's the situation. I refuse to take any accountability. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Sorry I didn't come on last night. Was at a birthday party, got back late, and just couldn't be bothered. So that's my excuse. Oh. Got another long ass week ahead, so it's going to be like I said, it's not going to be too long a one tonight. We'll see how things go, but I figure I got about 2 hours maximum in me. We'll see how it goes. But shout out to you, Cloud. It's been a while. Did your parents really name you Cloud? I have my suspicions. Oh. Oh. At least we get an absolute banger next weekend. I'm looking forward to that. I mean that card is stacked from top to bottom, and we still got some fights that actually mean something for the rest of the year. So I'm still excited. There's still reasons to be positive as an MMA fan. We've also got Eubank and Ben 2 next weekend. So next weekend is definitely a good reason to stay in. Don't do anything too crazy. I wonder how the numbers on Ben 2 are going to do, given that we're probably having the biggest card of the year, UFC wise, on the weekend. Not that they have entirely the same demographic, but I guess we'll find out. But either way, as like combat sports fans, we win, I guess. Let me see if anyone else is online. Oh, Sewer King's on. That's sweet. I haven't jumped in on a live of his for a while. Oh. This might turn out to be the deadest Sunday of all time. Looking like an early night. I'm not going to just keep talking to myself because it's too weird. Not that I can't do that. Hello, Dad. Is that you? Son, I've missed you. I hope you're 18 by now because you ain't getting no back checks. How you doing, Pork Chop? What's good, bro? How's a weekend treating you? I genuinely thought no one was going to turn up tonight. It was looking like a distinct possibility. How you doing, Magali Kumar, man? What's good in the hood? Has anybody voted India yet? What has two wings and a hello? A Chinese? Do you know what? It's funny you say that. Yeah, I actually saw somebody make that joke today for the first time. So I'm assuming we've seen the same short. How you doing, though, Pork Chop? What's good, man? Good to have you here, Magali Kumar. I'm in a funny situation, yeah, where I think I'm one subscriber away from 1.6K, which is wild to me. I never thought I would ever. I'm 19, Daddy. You're good. And you've just about reached the age threshold for this channel as well. So congratulations to you. None of my mods are gonna. I should Pork Chop. I probably shouldn't laugh at a joke like that, but it's funny. I can't help myself. Racist jokes are the funniest jokes. Let's be honest. And we are all pretty thick-skinned around here. But nice to see you face IO. It's been a while since someone called me daddy. That wasn't my actual kids. Not that long, I guess. How you doing? How you doing, Adolf? What's good, man? Thinking of buying edibles. I finally got the weed sorted out, and it's coming in the next couple days. There's been a long I can't believe that I'm such an old man that I can't sort this out by myself quick time. How you doing, though, Adolf? Which topic discussion on you? That's entirely on you, Magali. We can talk about anything you want. The problem is, despite being a superpower, USA is still facing many problems like homelessness, inflation, healthcare crisis, and student debt. This is the debate I was hoping to have, because what does being a superpower really mean? And this whole me first attitude that America's had out in the open. I mean, America's always been me first, but saying it out loud is not the best way to get everyone to like you. I'm not racist. I own a color TV. This has been the white person argument for many, many, many years. It's the I'm not racist. A black person came to my wedding argument, or I've got a black friend argument. And it works every fucking time. How you doing, Grey Dave? What's good, man? Grey Dave, I see you're coming in peace lately, man. I really appreciate it because your trolling was hard to deal with. You come with the fire, and I ain't ready for the heat. I'm excited about the fight week. Next weekend is sensational. The UFC card alone next week is enough to get our balls tingling, but fuck me. That Eubank and Ben 2 fight is almost as guaranteed as any fight can be to be an absolute banger as well. Nice to see you two. I've been on your lives for a while. I do remember you. My channel ain't big enough where I'm not remembering individual subscribers. You must be crazy, bro. Or lady. You could be a lady. I don't know. What's good, Big Frank? Thoughts on last night's card? Considering how dog shit it was on paper, bro, it was actually decent. I mean, your boy failed to make any money for like the 6th card in a row. We are officially in a slump. But No, I thought it was decent. We had some good knockouts, you know, some good scraps, some beefs were settled. We got an idiot in a do-rag that's somehow going viral right now. We've got all the ingredients for more drama moving forward, and that's what we like. I started MMA first welterweight fight, broke the guy's nose with a jab. Nice one, Adolf. Remind me to never piss you off. Nothing wrong with liking your own. Been through a lot. Most people would be racist if they were me. Yeah, I think it's okay to have prejudices as long as you're not going out there and, you know, burning people at the stake or lynching motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? Do you watch NBA? I do, Thug Life. I am a Golden State Warriors fan. I started supporting them just after they got not what's his name? Lee. So I kind of started supporting them when they were pretty shitty, but they had a decent core, got a few championships out of it. But I'm a little bit of a glory hunter when it comes to NBA. So now that the Warriors are back to sucking again or being very mid, I don't really watch as many games as I used to. I used to literally watch everything. And the great thing about being an NBA fan is there are never, ever, ever, like when the season is on and it's popping, you've got like so much basketball to get through. You know, you're pretty much getting a game every day or every 2 days. My problem is that I'm like 97% indiscriminate. Nobody's 97% indiscriminate. I like the fact that you think that though. Everybody is a little bit prejudiced at the very least. Nobody walks out of this scot-free. Same dog, I can't catch a break from the UFC. Yeah, it's weird that this whole like, I mean, the thing is, yeah, I don't really gamble a lot of money anyway. The maximum I put on every weekend is like $50. And the thing is, I know how to win. You just don't get greedy. Keep the parlay small, 2 or 3 fights, and keep it stepping. But I just can't help myself. You know, I mostly do it so I can enjoy the whole card. Because let's face it, when money's not on it, it just doesn't have the same juice. So why in every stream you cuss? It's like a catharsis for me, to be honest, Wyan, because I can't swear at home, because I've got children. Well, at the moment, a young child at home, and I can't swear at work because I've also got young, impressionable people around. So when I get alone and I'm on stream, the filter is off. Do you like Sheamus? I'm not really into the whole WWE thing. That motherfucker is white as hell though. He's a good representation of our people. Jacked, ginger, and you can basically see his heart beating. So shout out to him. Would you fuck Azzy Fudd, female basketball player? I wouldn't fuck any female basketball player. I'm not into tall bitches. But is she hot? Is she at least in slump buster territory? Is what I'm asking. How you doing, Cap? Did I just say something fucked up? That doesn't sound like a real name. I think you got me on that one. How you doing? How you doing, Captain Raph? What's good, bro? Give me a second. I know I'm ugly, but I do need a little bit of lighting. But I'm still only 10 years old. No, you're not. How you doing, Shama? Saying stuff like I'm 10 years old is a very quick way to get kicked out of here. So state your real age before the mods jump all over you. Shama, how you doing, brother? We got some big fucking MMA YouTubers in the building right now. We got S Dogs himself. We've got Captain Raph. I appreciate the support, boys. I mean, the watch hours don't turn into any money for me, but it's still nice to see. It's still a little bit of an ego boost. I'm actually creeping up at the moment on 1 million views on YouTube, which is crazy to me. How you doing, Tinos? What's good, man? Motherfucker is fake. WWE, they will melt the cup and then piss too much steroid. 100% they would. But to be fair, I will give them this. Even though I think WWE is for children, and I do like to laugh at people that watch it, I used to be a big fan of it when I was young. A big fan. But I was young. And also I have to give them credit. They are athletes to some extent. I know it's like pre-written scripts and all that, but it's entertainment. Bare gas for next week, bruv. I'm super gassed. I am charged. I'm pissing hot for this one. I'm pissing flames. How you doing, Lane? What's good? What's good? How you doing, Leandro? You guys scared the fuck out of me. The first 5 minutes, None of you were here. How'd you know I've got a bat? Oh yeah, did I move my head? Nah, man, you can't see. How'd you know it's a Batman chair? That's highly suspicious. How you doing, Leandro? What's good, man? Yeah, I'm gassed as hell. The thing is that even if the UFC sucks, like I said, we've got Ben and Eubank too, I think, on the same weekend, which I'm amped for. First fight was an absolute banger if you didn't see it. So we've got that to look forward to. Yeah. I'm gassed as fuck as well. I can't wait. But yeah, you guys scared the shit out of me, man. First 5 minutes, no one turned up. I was getting ready to I was like, I'll give it 20 minutes. I'm gonna fuck off. Have you locked in your final picks for next week? I haven't locked them in. I'm still kind of 51-49 on the main event. I'm not sure about Valentina and Whaley. I can see an equal argument for both of them. Also in wrestling, you have risk. Every time they suffered physically, also a long time. I mean, the thing is, yeah, people can hate on those guys, and I like to laugh at them because it is a bit silly, but they are athletes, and it is very physical what they do, and it is very entertaining. You're watching me, and that's not creepy. Oh, a 10-year-old watching me. You can't be 10. I did a rain dance and it started snowing. I guess you overdid it on the moves, yeah. Not on the live stream, in real life. Yeah, that's not creepy. That's what everyone wants to hear. That someone's hiding in the bushes with a pair of binoculars. I'm not worth stalking, bro. My life's not that interesting. I'll be honest. What is your favorite car? If I could own any car in the world, I would own a Shelby GT 500. Not because I'm a big fan of Gone in 60 Seconds, but the name that they named the car is very dear to me. And I think it's a slick vehicle as well. I know it's American. Shelby's a American made, right? And we all know Americans are fucking terrible at making cars. But there's something just very classic and sleek about that vehicle. JDM, Islam, and the woman fight are both 50-50 to me. 100%. Someone's going to make a lot of money this weekend. Someone's going to correctly pick both, and they're going to make a lot of money. The problem is there's not a lot of value on Islam. I'm with you as well, Tinos, man. I can't decide. I've been leaning with anytime anyone asks me who I'm picking between the two, I always lean JDM. However, Islam's looking kind of jacked right now. He's looking like he's going to be a big boy in there. Not that we were going to expect anything less, but it's a tough one, man. You can make strong arguments for both. I'm praying that JDM's takedown defense holds up. If you watch a wrestler like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Gunther, you will have respect. The thing is that, Travis, I do respect the industry. I could tell you so much about 80s, 90s. I'm a fountain of knowledge when it comes to those decades of wrestling. I was a huge fan. I used to watch everything. I was a big fan during like the WWE, WCW, ECW era. I loved all that. But I don't know, man. It's just I grew up in it. And again, I'm not dunking on people. It's basically like a male soap opera, innit? I understand why people watch it. It's just the more time, or the less time I've had in my life, it just wasn't on the cards. Best lightweight of all time? You mean Islam? That's a debate worth having. How you doing, Grimy? Only one I'm confident in is Brady. I'm pretty confident in Brady. The thing is, though, we haven't really seen how good Morales is yet. We're gonna find out if Morales is gonna be one of the guys, or if he's just one of the chasing pack. We're gonna find out Saturday night. Do you know CM Punk? I kind of I know who CM Punk is, but I kind of started falling out of wrestling when so I basically stopped watching wrestling in like 2001, 2002, and CM Punk hadn't pulled up on the scene then. It was basically after WCW got acquired, and it was good for about another year after that, and then I just realized it was dead, so stopped watching. And I had other priorities in my life. Vagina. God, I love vagina. How is USA is cleaning this poll. Interesting. Not biased at all. But yeah, I think Brady should win. I'm very high on him. Um, but still, there's a Morales. I'm not confident enough to bet on that fight because Morales is very good. He's very, very strong. He's got good takedown defense. He might be the kryptonite that Brady's been avoiding. I've got Leon, by the way. I really think he's going to pull it off. No way he's losing 3 in a row. I wish I had the same confidence, but I think he's going to be gun shy. And against somebody like Leon's not very active in his striking. And I think with someone like Prates, who's going to have time to get his stuff off, I don't think he knocks Leon Edwards out because I think Leon Edwards is very evasive. I just think he'll have the better moments. I can see this being like a 2 rounds to 1 Prates type thing. I don't think he cleans him out. But yeah, I'm going with Prates. I think it will be a closer fight than people are probably expecting. Leon is a very good striker, but I don't know. Do you know that balls is stored in the piss? What? Do you mean piss is stored in the balls? CM Punk lost against Rookie in the UFC. I mean, CM Punk gets ragged on for not doing very well in the UFC, but I'm on the other side of it, man. I'm like, give the guy credit for having the balls to get in there. Having the balls, mate. Frank, are you watching or reading anything good right now? I'm about to finish The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, which is really, really tickling my ball sack. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm kind of reading it very, very slowly. Usually I plow through about 4 books a week, but I'm trying to slow burn this one, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. In terms of stuff that I'm watching, not really. I think Ilya and Islam fight is cursed fight. Like Adolf, I think you're 100% right. I can't see a scenario where that plays out timeline wise, unless they both win their next fights and then they just say, fuck it, we'll fight at the White House. I can see that happening. But there's a long way to go before that takes place. There's a lot that can go wrong. Basically, if you want to see Islam versus Ilya next year, you need Islam to win on Saturday night. Who is your favorite superhero? I just want to know. I'm not 12, but I guess Batman, probably. How old are you and what is your real name? My real name is Frankie or Francis, and I'm 41 years old. And if you are 10, which I doubt, you need to fuck off immediately. I mean, go away immediately. Hockett has an annoying personality. I hope he gets slept by Taliesin Teixeira. Hockett is an annoying arsehole. He's clearly got downs as well. I mean, doing that and he's with Jackson Wink as well, which doesn't fucking help. It's so cringe seeing certain reels where people say Islam's going to run through and dominate JDM. He's not going to dominate him. He's going to have moments where he might appear to be. But it's these Islam nut riders that are saying he's going to absolutely wipe. They clearly haven't watched the JDM fight or understand the sport. Islam could put in a very dominating performance. We could see that. And if he does, you can make a case that he's, well, definitely pound for pound number 1 in the sport right now. But he's entering GOAT Mountain in conversation. No. It's a common misconception that piss is stored in the balls. It's really the other way around. Balls are stored in the... So you mean balls are sitting in the pit? I didn't need to know that. In what way does that help us out in life, mate? Damn, 4 books a week. That's awesome. I'm at 1, but I just started reading again a couple of months back. Grimy, reading is the best thing you can do. Honestly. It's like my number 1 hobby. Apart from the all-time number 1, of course. But I do love reading. I don't really read anything too meaningful in terms of, I just read for enjoyment. So it's fiction all day long. Now they're going to make that fight happen. They love a Georgian Dagestani rivalry. That's exactly why they might avoid it. It might get a little bit too political. You know what I'm saying? I like Islam, but I just don't know why. I feel he might lose this one. If he wins, then he might be the GOAT. The conversation then starts to happen. The only reason I think he's not GOAT is not the GOAT is because of his CV isn't as strong as it could be. And I'm not saying it's his fault. It's not. Because obviously he can only fight who's been put in front of him. He could be more active though, and I think that would help his case. But he could be potentially a JDM win and then an Ilya win. And then we're talking GOAT level. And it depends on how he wins those fights as well. I think countries should not be considered a superpower just by how big the GDP is, because despite being small, GDP's Nordic countries like Finland, Sweden have a higher human development index. And this is where the argument gets a little bit deep, because it depends what superpower means. I guess for me, it's not really about GDP. It's more about the influence you have globally and how you're viewed. It's more of an immeasurable thing. The only time I see JDM losing is closing that cut. I think if JDM loses, it's going to be by submission. Piccolo, I am 41. I turned 41 a couple of weeks ago. When my eyes were open to the truth about piss, my balls, it changes everything. Really. I feel like knowing that might be a possibility has changed nothing about how I feel. Hello, Dad, I'm back. It's a bit creepy being called Dad. I'm not gonna lie. But fair enough. If it makes you happy, then go for it. But thank you, Shama, for bringing that to my attention. I'm gonna be laying in bed at night thinking about my balls just like floating around in its own piss. Thanks very much. You look like 26. Thanks very much, man. It's because I don't have any hair on my face or any gray hair, and I've still got hair on my head, so that helps. I'm gonna be one of those people that's gonna suddenly uncup overnight. Like I'm gonna wake up in the morning and my face is gonna look like a ball bag, and I'm gonna have no hair on my head. I'm gonna be fucked. So I'm just gonna ride the wave while I can. I'm definitely gonna be the, oh yeah, he looks young, and then suddenly you're gonna look at me and go, oh my god, you really look like your age, and I'm just bracing for when that happens. But I look after myself relatively well. I appreciate that. By the way, Shama, how did you stumble on this information? Because it sounds like a very niche, specific thing that you would have to look up. How is it creepy? You have kids? Yeah, but that's my kids calling me dad, mate. It's not some dude on the internet or female. I mean, you could be female, in which case it's very much encouraged. But having some dude on the internet calling me dad, I mean, you could be my son. I don't know. I have put it out there. How you doing, Rob? Rob, I caught your last live stream with I was doing the whole lurking and jerking. So shout out to Kerry, Rob's neighbor. Really nice panel you had on there, man. Those dudes were funny, man. I hope to see more of that. Yeah, for real. First when I joined, I thought you was like 32 max. I'll take that, man. Anything under my actual age is a win. Is a win. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, Piccolo, have you seen that latest movie he's in? Good, not good sensations. Fuck it. Anyway, the movie he was in, decent. Enjoyed it. I turned 30. I feel like my energy is high, but I feel like I've got pain in the back. Is it common, or maybe because I fight a lot? It could be because you fight. To be honest, yeah, I've had back pains from like my 20s, just from like overdoing it on the sport. I used to play like a lot of football or soccer, as you can't obviously sometimes call it. And obviously there's so much cardio and stuff involved that I've just ripped my muscles to shreds, mate. I took two crazy guys from my village and they saw something. How Shama and it's learned the truth about balls and piss. So it was an in real life discovery. That makes it more frightening, to be honest. We have officially hit 1.6K, which is amazing. Okay, Dad, I'll quit calling you Daddy now. Thanks very much. Daddy is slightly more creepy, but if you're a hot female, then by all means, keep it up. I can't help fucking. I can't help just this. This is why I get accused of being zesty all the time. Love Yeri, man. I hope they announce the Alex Pereira and John Jones fight, and they do Yeri versus Carlos Alba. I want to see Yeri being a champion again. Yeri Prohaska is my favorite fighter right now. I saw like snippets of his interview with Mighty Mouse, and the guy's just a delight. Do you like the movie John Wick? By the way, Keanu Reeves is a really lovely person. If anything ever comes out about that guy, I've given up on all hope for the world. Did you ever enjoy bloody face during a fight and met someone who is as equal power as you? To be honest, yeah, like I've only really not really I've never been knocked out. I've never been like I've been battered, but by like 3, 4 people. I don't really lose fights, and well, I don't really lose fights because I don't really get in them anymore. It's been a long time. I haven't really got into a serious fight until I was, well, maybe early 30s. So it's been a good 10 years. But I've never been battered bloody in a one-on-one. I've been battered bloody, but it's always me getting jumped. Yuri's beaten Allberg. I completely agree. Anyone that dislikes Yuri is just a weirdo, in my opinion. I don't understand how you could possibly dislike that guy. Matsumoto is my favorite fighter. Very interesting choice there. Matsumoto is very, very good. I can see him being, especially at his age as well, I can see him being a future champ, potentially. But it depends how his career gets handled. Very good fighter, though. And his wins are aging very, very well. Yuri Teixeira is still one of my favorite fights of all time. I mean, the comeback. I actually bet on Teixeira in that fight, and I was so close. But I'm glad it was one of those ones. Yeah, I think I lost like 500 pounds on that parlay. It was the last leg of it, and the way that it happened, I couldn't help but be happy for Yuri. Even losing, a nice little. I mean, let's face it. Probably would have spent the money on bullshit, but show us the tattoo. I don't really show off the tattoos too much. It's mostly like, old memories, stuff like family, that kind of stuff. I'm not really that muscular, to be fair. I'm decent. For this day and age, considering how jacked dudes are getting on social media, I'm very, very small by comparison. Prate's JDM on Australia should be interesting. If JDM loses, that could be what's next for him. Or they could make JDM fight Shavkat. I think we get JDM versus Shavkat regardless if he wins on Saturday or not. Who is your favorite MMA fighter? Right now, it's Yuri Prohaska. I just love the guy. I just love everything about him. My ass. How you doing, Tony Demoen? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. You see, John is begging Dana for a white. He is so fake. I think DC is way better than John. DC's in the top 15 of all time, in my opinion. DC was a problem. Nobody ever steamrolled DC. He was hard as nails, and he was more well-rounded than people gave him credit for. A lot of people see him as a pure wrestler, but he was nasty as well. You are salt and vinegar. Thank you. Or fuck you. I'm not sure what to say, really. But shout out to you, BW. Welcome to the chat. JDM Shavkat is a difficult one to predict. That would be a war. That's one of those that goes down on the guaranteed banger list. Are you also anti-gym, bros? No, I think gyms are great. I don't really go to the gym. I've got like enough exercise equipment in my house. I think everyone should exercise. And I think if you're somebody who champions a healthy lifestyle and the betterment of yourself, good for you. I don't look at gym bros and think, oh my God, look at these meatheads. I'm not really a hater in that way. You salty bellend. Now I see you're a fan. You've been here before. DC is top 10, maybe. I wouldn't say top 5. Top 10 is fine. Though. What's up, my African brother? How you doing? How you doing, James Dillon? If you don't count PED cheats, then DC is solidly in the top 10. You might even be top 8 if you take definitive not a PED cheats out of it. Bro, I like the way they respectfully you read the comment and say some fucking say bad stuff. I just don't get offended by anyone, mate. I do throw the odd swear word in there, which I probably shouldn't, especially if there's impressionable people watching. But I have set my settings here to be an 18 and over crowd. And if you're young and in here, then your parents clearly needs social services involved because they should be checking your account details. Because I've set this channel to be 18 and over. So I shouldn't be offending people by throwing the odd swear word up in the air. Mogos, bro. I couldn't do that if I tried. Logical, I'm 5'7". I know perfectly well what I am. I'm not going to be out here talking mad shit, saying I'm going to beat people up and all that kind of stuff. I'm 41 and I've got kids, man. I'm a call the police type homie. And proud of it. I pay my taxes and I use them. If Alex goes up to heavyweight and wins, then he surely has to be the GOAT. No, if Alex goes up to heavyweight and wins, he is. And a lot of people will shit on that because they're like, oh, he's only had 14, 15 fights or whatever in MMA. He will have credentials in mixed martial arts that are unparalleled. He could potentially be a freeweight world champion. If he does that, it's game over. If he has free title fights at different weight classes in the UFC with the 2 kickboxing titles to go with it, and his CV is sensational. Look at the people that he's fought. Unbelievable. Alex would be the GOAT of the sport if he won a heavyweight title. Winning a heavyweight fight, I'm not sure if that's enough, but he might enter GOAT Mountain depending on who it is. If he beats John Jones, he's top 4. Not you, some other guys. I appreciate that, Adolf. I mean, I can be a cunt. I'm fully aware of it. Name 5 people above DC. So I would go. So definitely no PED cheats. So we've got Mighty Mouse, GSP. I think never even been even closely proven. You've got to take Anderson Silva out. You've got to take John Jones out. I would go Ilya Tapuria. I would go Volkanovski. That would be 4. Islam Makhachev, 5. I'll go with M5. What would you do if Mr. Beast broke into your house and forced you to kiss him? I'd bite his face off. Let's face it, he looks like the type, so I'm not going to rule it out. Ben Askren title run, right? Now, I saw Ben Askren was getting back in the gym, man. Shout out to Ben Askren, man. He's been through some shit. And I'm one of those people who really enjoys Ben Askren. Do I think he's a great MMA fighter? No. But he seems like a wholesome little autistic, dude. I like Ben Askren. Alex was already at the top in my opinion. I don't hate it. I don't hate it considering what he's done. Double weight world champion in the amount of time that he's done it in. 2 titles at another organization, a big organization as well, in a different discipline. I don't hate it. But you can easily break that apart just on losses and what other people have done on the sport and whatnot. But I don't hate it. It's up to you. What is CD? I don't know, man. GTA San Andreas or GTA 5? Choose one. I've got to go with GTA 5. A lot of people disagree with that, but I just think the things you can do in that game, the way that the online mode is, I've got to go with that. But San Andreas was amazing. The stuff you could do with like the gym and all the stuff like that. Like San Andreas is the biggest jump up a GTA series has ever had. So the jump up from San Andreas from the game that it preceded it, that was the biggest jump up. We couldn't have obviously had like a GTA 5 without the step up that main game get that game made. This dude just said Ilya above DC. Yeah, I think that the reason why I say that is I think the 3 people that I think if you place the Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira, knocking all 3 of those out in a row, that might be the greatest run in history in terms of 3 legends that are hard to beat. The Max Holloway one in particular was the most knocking that guy the fuck out. Max Holloway doesn't get knocked out. That run alone you could have as the greatest 3-fight run in MMA history. So I'd put him above. Yeah, I would. DC lost to Jones twice. I know he was PED'd off his head for one of them. Lost to Stipe twice. And they're both double champs. And DC had some close fights with like Anderson Silva and Gustafsson, and you know what I mean? DC's amazing, but oh no, they're talking fighters again. We have to do it, man. Thug Life, I choose your mom. That's nice. I'm sure his mom will appreciate it. Volk, GSP, DJ, Islam are above DC, but Ilya not yet. And if that's your opinion, you can make a case on both sides. I don't think it's a ridiculous thing to say, but that's just my opinion. I was asked what my top 5 were. Is Ilya versus Justin confirmed? No. It looks like they're leaning towards Ilya and Paddy. Apparently, people in Paddy's gym and Paddy have been alluding to the fact that they're just waiting for the contract to be signed. And it's looking like they're targeting January. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. It seems like Justin Gaethje has correctly been pushed to the back burner. And rightfully so. He doesn't deserve a title shot. No, but Tinos, I respect your opinion. I think DC is amazing. We're kind of splitting hairs with these guys. When you're talking top 10, it basically comes down to opinion. It really does. It really does. You seem like the type of guy to have t-shirts up on the windows instead of curtains, brev. Is that a thing? People have t-shirts up on the windows. I didn't even know that was a thing. That sounds like a fucking brilliant idea. Maybe I am that person. I don't know. It seems you've been kicked out before I could respond to your comment. Justin would get slipped. Justin would get slept. I think Justin would get slept in round 2. But he's getting slept one way or another. Ilya is vicious. So yeah, it just comes down to margins, and it comes down to what you preference. Because if you ask 10 different people, in fact, I might do a poll about that next time. I need to write this one down. What do you think is the most important thing when discussing who a GOAT is? Like, is it who they've beaten? Is it how they win? Is it how long they've done it? I'm gonna write that one down, and we can do that. We can do that as a poll for next time. Name the top 5 games you like to play. Fuck, that's really a tough one. It would be like I'd say it would be Resident Evil 2, the original one, Final Fantasy 7, again the original one, Persona 5 Royale, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I'd probably go with something like that I got a lot of time out of. So something like Tetris would probably be something that I played the fuck out of. Hades got a lot of my time as well. It's hard, man. I literally own like 1,500 games, something like that. It's tough. And obviously, because of the way my personality's changed, the things that I see in a game are completely different now from what I used to when I was younger. I prefer more chilled. Look up all of DC's wins. It is above 3 elite wins. I know I get what you're saying, but Shama, the argument that I'm making is that 3 in a row and the way that he beat them, clean knockouts on all 3 of them. 2 of them arguably not arguably, 2 of the featherweight GOATs, 1 and 2, you would argue. And then Charles, who's just like still dangerous to this day. I mean, if you guys think Gamrot is shit, I don't know what to say to you. And Charles Oliveira made him look like he didn't even belong in the UFC. So those 3 wins in a row, disgusting. I think the pound for pound list should be based on ranked wins. To be honest, Valgursky, the pound for pound is fucking stupid and makes no sense. It shouldn't exist at all. It should not exist in the slightest. Like Fug Life, I was thinking like Chrono Trigger is a game that I got a lot of time. I could literally name a top 100. I'd be here all day. But I appreciate that, bro. GOAT is a very subjective. My personal GOAT is Yeri, but that obviously doesn't mean he is the GOAT for Tinos, 100%. I don't think Dana White himself understands what the GOAT list even means. In Dana White's mind, it's, if we put you all in a room, who would come out? That's his argument. He doesn't think about CV. He doesn't think about wins. He doesn't think about anything. The way that people win. Doesn't give a fuck. Excuse my language. Gamrot came in with no game plan, and he did only have 2 weeks to prepare for it. I do think we haven't seen the last of Gamrot. I still think Gamrot he'll give some people some nightmares, but people are going to avoid him like the plague now. Do you like cheese? Of course. Of course I like cheese. I got asked if I was lactose intolerant in my last stream, which was wild. That was a wild accusation. I get called a narc and I'm being asked if I'm allergic to if I'm a vegan. Man, I used to be respected. What is CV? You keep mentioning it. So CV is basically just who they fought. It's who they fought. I don't know why I classify it as CV. It's just kind of terminology that's gone around. So it's basically who they fought and when in their career. My favorite UFC fighter at the moment is Jiri Prochazka, but I've got a lot of time. I love Manel Cap. I just think he's amazing. I love Fluffy Hernandez. I love Ilya Superior. I love Joshua Van. I like clean strikers. I like JDM. Shavkat's up there for me. We are living in an era where we are absolutely blessed with personalities and great fighters to watch. Dana only likes fighters that make him promotion money. I don't think he even cares about that anymore. I think the UFC is in such a comfortable position. I don't think the money even matters to this cunt anymore, which is why he's trying to do other things. I don't think he gives a singular shit. My all-time favorite. Wow. That's a good question, Caspar. In terms of person that generated excitement for me, I would have to go for McGregor, you know. I would have to go for McGregor. Nobody got me excited for a fight like Conor McGregor did back in the day. The whole you could have a year, waiting for a Conor McGregor fight and you could keep it interesting. It's really hard to choose my favorite one though. If you ask me tomorrow, I'd probably have a different answer. How you doing, Fatty? What's good, man? Sorry if you already answered this question. JDM versus Makhachev, who you've got? Mike, I'm going to stick to the same answer that I've given for the last 3 months since this fight was announced. I'm going with JDM, but I'm not that confident. And the reason why I'm going with JDM is I think he's got such clean striking, like such clean hands. And I think his takedown defense is very underrated. People look at JDM and go, oh, he's just a striker. He's not, and he's not a wrestler, but he's got good takedown defense. And sometimes that's all you need. And we don't know how good Islam's going to be at 170. He could go up and be phenomenal. But if you're picking either person, it's one of those fights where on paper it's as close as it gets, and that's what makes it so intriguing. There should be a super heavyweight division. I've been saying this for years. Just get the fat fuckers in there, or get the bodybuilders in there. I want to see that. What do you think is the most underrated game? Wow, that's a really good question. Oh, the most underrated game. I'm gonna have to think on that one. But I really appreciate that question, Abe. That's really got me thinking. Because there's a few pop into mind, but there's a lot of games that didn't obviously get the claim that they deserve. But what does underrated mean now, you know? Would you rather watch a horse shrink or a pony grow? A pony grow, man. Shine. I want to see people shine. How you doing, Cheddarhead? What's good, you fat legend? Islam looks huge. I give him no chance. I give no chance to JDM, let's be honest. Size doesn't matter. Or that's what the ladies keep comforting me by saying. I'm joking. I'm hogged up. JDM Islam is like if France played Spain in a World Cup final 50-50. It's 100% 50-50. There's no other way of seeing it. It could turn out, yeah, to be like a wash on either side. I mean, if JDM beat the fuck out of Islam, would any of us be surprised? If Islam beat the fuck out of JDM, would any of us be surprised? On either side, no. But I think we're all expecting a closely contested fight that goes 3-2 either way. That's what I'm expecting. Imagine Brian Shaw versus Lesnar. Brian Shaw would kill Brock Lesnar. Brian Shaw is like 400 pounds, mate. He would fucking destroy him. I mean, I'd probably. Oh, I mean, Lesnar might be able to take him down. I'm talking shit. How you doing, Yoda? How you doing, Yoda? I did see your message earlier on, bro. Sorry for not responding to you immediately. How you doing, Yoda? I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, bro. And thanks for always being here. Imagine farting. Don't have to imagine it, bro. I don't throw this word much. I have a friend that's narcissistic and manipulative. I started monitoring his actions, and he said I hated him. Let's cuss the cunt together. This is sounding way too close to home. Do you think Ngannou could have beaten Jones when he was still in the UFC? No. I think Ngannou would have got strangled. Ngannou is not a good MMA fighter. He's just got power. He did improve towards the end there. Like the performance he put against Cyril Gane showed that he was a little bit more well-rounded. But he's not a good MMA fighter. He's just raw power. Lesnar is a clown. I mean, at the end of the day, Lesnar came in at the right time. He can call himself a UFC champion. But he was very limited in what he could do. Lesnar gets white. Lesnar is not a top 25 heavyweight of all time. It will definitely not be like DDP Hamzat domination, though. Never. I don't think so. I think JDM has a bit more to him. 100% has a lot more to him. What's your favorite pizza? This is gonna sound very vanilla. It's like super cheesy, yeah, with truffles on it. I like it simple. As a second, I could probably go with pepperoni. I do fuck with pepperoni, but just cheese and truffles, man. If you haven't had a truffle pizza, you don't know what you're missing out on. I think with pizza, you should always go gourmet. And that sounds like a very, posh thing to say, but I think if you're gonna have a cheat meal and eat something like pizza, you should do it with the best possible ingredients. But yeah, I agree with you, Tinos. I think I'm expecting a super close fight. And just the implications of all of it is amazing. Margarita is peak. What would you get from the Chinese? Um, chow mein is always a safe option, but I really do like roast duck, crispy aromatic duck, because it feels like you get the pancakes, you get you know, the spring roll, the spring onion and the cucumber. I quite like that mix. I think it really works. But if they fuck up a duck, it's really bad. If it's too dry, it's terrible. So I'd probably go with chow mein. Rich answer. Bro said cheese and truffles. I'm just keeping it real, Shammer. I mean, I'm saying it's a rich answer. Yeah? I mean, the pizzas are still relatively the same price. How much is a pizza these days? $50? I don't know anymore. Power definitely plays a role. For example, Alex is obviously great, but technically Izzy is the better fighter in my opinion. But Alex just has that unbelievable power. Alex has proven though to be very, very clever. He game plans very well. He's got a high fight IQ. And he's knocking guys the fuck out in different ways. So I don't know, man. Izzy is certainly more technical or slightly, but I'd say the difference is very, it's negligible. And Izzy's shown that he can be found out. He's not a very good boxer. I think Alex is a better boxer than him. So I don't know, man. I think that's up for debate. Imagine circuses integrated fighting into their shows. They would be in business 100%. I still go to circuses. They fucking suck though. Why didn't you stream Fight Night? I was at my niece's birthday party and I got back really late and I couldn't be bothered. Long story short, I'm joking about $50. RJJ is going China. China's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. 27%. I think China is the best shout. People that are saying China and the Middle East are seeing where the world is going. I get the special fried rice. I do like. I mean, the thing is, yeah, you can't really go wrong. Depends on what your preferences are. I'd go with chow mein just because I'm more of a noodle guy than a rice guy. That sounded zesty. I'm moving on. Alex is 3-1 against Izzy. He's 4-1, actually. He won 3 times in kickboxing and once in MMA. So he's actually 4-1. I think that's right. What did you have for dinner? What did I have for dinner? A shepherd's pie, bro. I'm surprised it took me that long. And it was magnificent. Who the fuck is saying Middle East? Well, Raise, the money is in the Middle East. It's not crazy to think of, right? I mean, they're coming into our sports now and basically they're getting, if you, let's just think about this, yeah? Turkey Al Sheikh got Dana White to hold his hand in public. That is the equivalent. You got a billionaire to hold his hand. That is the equivalent of getting somebody to hold your pocket in jail. If that doesn't show you where the world is going, I don't know what to tell you. Indonesia is a better chance for it than the Middle East. The Middle East is very small, but that might help them. Did you have cake and ice cream? I didn't, man. I didn't. Cake and ice cream and shepherd's pie. That is mad. Middle East only has oil, but they're caked. And they don't just have oil now, T. They own 25% of the American economy. Watch your fucking mouth, son. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I almost never want to go to work. I have dreams where I make up excuses to not go to work, and then I wake up and I go to work anyway. Could Marab beat Prime Dominic Cruz? Yes. Tough fight, though. Dominic Cruz was cerebral. Very, very clever, but I just think Marab is too much, man. He's too relentless. He's got a chin. I hate custard. Get out. You clearly haven't had good cake and custard, mate. And I mean the real custard, not that slop. Money isn't power. Power is power, i.e. the military. I mean, you've got a point on that one. But how likely are we to use it? How long is that going to be a threat? I do think the Middle East is very, very far away. The right answer to this question really is China. Marab got to be the bantamweight GOAT. He is right now. Marab is the best bantamweight of all time. I'd have Dominic Cruz. But the thing is that the bantamweight GOAT list is crazy because it's like, it's Marab number 1, you'd have Dominic Cruz number 2, and you'd have Aljo number 3. And I don't think a lot of people could argue with that. Bantamweight doesn't have very long-standing champions. They tend to get wiped out. So the fact Marab is head and shoulders above. They have slaves. Who has slaves? Pizza is just unwrapped. Oh yeah, they do. The Middle East does have slaves. I mean, that's a pretty goated move in this day and age. Pizza is just unwrapped shawarma or burritos. Fight me. I mean, you're not wrong. You've got a point. I'm not going to fight you on that one. Frankie, I got a Buzz military short. Should I get a swastika tattoo to complete the look? Depends where you are, mate. Actually, no. Don't do that. Don't reveal your game plan, bro. You will get jumped. They should do animals versus men. They're definitely doing that somewhere. If you look high on YJ, you can find animals versus men. Oh. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, not with dinner. Oh, I didn't have cake. No, I had to leave early. I left before the dessert pulled up. Sorry, that makes a lot more sense. If America I didn't even put Russia in there. If America or Russia decides the Middle East shouldn't exist tomorrow, there isn't a thing all the Middle East United could do to stop themselves from being eradicated from this world. Damn. Lion versus Lesnar in his prime. A lion, of course. I think Marab has to move up to feather if Volk's not the champ anymore. I think he should do it now anyway. I think he should stop with this I have respect bullshit. You know, he almost ruined his entire career by cucking for Aljo. And that's why I'm really glad that Marab got his time in the sunlight and has emerged to be one of the greatest fighters ever. Marab is hands down top 10. And if he wins a couple more, he's top 5. And then who knows where he goes from there. So I would take that fight now. They should do him and Volk now. It's the only fight that makes sense for both of them. Timu Malcolm in the middle. What's up? You know they're bringing that show back. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with it. Do you think Tapuria should be in the GOAT conversation already? Nah, definitely not. But he's firmly in the top 10. He's amongst that cluster of fighters who are just outside GOAT Mountain, in my opinion. And he's like 3 fights of doing it. After Yanni has to move up. I completely agree. Bro forgot to mention Patchy Mix in the Shabba. Do you know what? Yeah, there are videos of me on YouTube, and I'm not kidding, yeah, of me saying that Patchy Mix might be the greatest bantamweight in the world at the time when he was in Bellator. I believe that. He just come off knocking Rufion Stotts' head off, and I was like, this guy's legit. I was making a case that he would beat Sean O'Malley. That did not age well. Why don't you go get a snack? I'm not hungry. And it's 9:30 in the evening, man. What do you think I am, a beast? That's how you get fat, man. Don't eat late. MMA Guru versus 100 bag of Watsits. MMA would mog those MMA Guru would mog those Watsits. I think he could finish 100 bags. He's not getting through 100 bags of skills, though. Kayla Harrison should move up to heavyweight. Kayla Harrison is probably the only woman on earth that I think could maybe beat a man's flyweight, potentially. They'd have to be a really shit flyweight, though. During the Cold War's peak, there were over 40,000 nuclear warheads with the US and Soviet Union combined. It's around 15,000 combined today. Both these numbers would be enough to raise the world. But then you're kind of killing everyone. You're basically wiping everyone out to win, which seems. Can Makhachev survive in welterweight? Yeah, I think he can. I think he's going to be very natural and strong up there. The smart money is putting money on Islam, but I've got to go for JDM just based on what I've seen and the unknowns that we've got with Islam. But Dead Rising for Life. Great game, by the way. Shout out to you, bro. Ilya is still young. He's got time to eventually become. I don't think Ilya is going to stay in the game for that long. I genuinely don't. I think we get 5 more Ilya fights tops. And I think we only get 3 more Makhachev fights as well before he pisses off too. The young crop is looking amazing. I reckon you like Skittles. You're just in denial about it. I don't mind Skittles. I'm not really I don't really eat candy, man. I'm too old for that shit now. The thing is that if I eat, I'll give you an example. Yeah, if I wear a pizza, if I wear a pizza, if I eat a pizza, I'm basically wearing it for a week. When you get to my age, your metabolism is fucked. So you have to be careful about everything you eat once you get past 30, 35. Stopping by to drop a like for the big Frank. About to go live, brother. Take it easy, S-Dog. Shout out to you. Hope you have a great live. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pull up at some point. I just think I'm a little bit too... I can't help but embarrass myself when I go on your live streams because I'm just too mouthy. Are you a little chubby boy? Are you asking? I'm not chubbed up at the moment, if that's what you're asking. Maybe later. Send your mum over. Probably lower, but this is a very high-end estimate. I mean, again, it's just that argument of it's all relative, though, isn't it? It's basically use of weapon. It's basically having weaponry that really we can't use because the implications would be dreadful. If Islam beats JDM, I bet he retires. I don't think he will. I think he retires, James, if he gets JDM and then Ilya and wins both of them. He'll be gone. He'll be gone. Yeah, thank you for that, Casper. We're literally over 1.6K, which is crazy to me. Pizza does go straight to your hips lane 100%. As an older man, yeah, the one thing I've really struggled to deal with, yeah. Raze, you've got to stop crashing out about messages, mate. I keep telling you, yeah, it's in top chat. I'm reading the messages as they pop up, cunt. All right? You're the one person who keeps going, go back, go back, go back. I've explained to you a million times here. It's in top chat. I read everything that I see. You know I love you, bro. I'm not stupid. The Middle East would require 3,000 at best. But yeah, again, I answered your question. I don't know why you're crashing out for. I don't see Islam fighting Ilya. Varun, I think there's a lot of things that have to go into it before it happens. Hydrogen bombs don't spread long-term devastating rage over other continents. But you're making a stupid argument because part of the reason of going to war with another nation is you want to be able to take their resources. That's part of what you want the spoils of victory. And flatlining somebody's fucking country doesn't do good for anyone. It's a last minute argument. The way that war is truly going to be won from one nation to another is going to be technological. It's going to be taking down a country from the inside, and smart people know that. Your view of, oh, bro's got more bombs is the dumbest argument in this day and age. I'm sorry, bro. It is. It comes down to technology now. And it comes down to fucking up a country's infrastructure from the inside and planting seeds. And countries like China and Russia are in a very strong position to do that. Thank you, James Dillon, for reminding us. But yeah, Varun, I agree with you. I think that fight becomes... You're talking about something that happened fucking nearly 100 years ago. How old are you, man? Get out of your time capsule. The world has moved on. It's not just about who has the biggest nukes. It's not about that, or who has the most nukes, or who has the atom bomb. It's a ridiculously stupid argument to make in this day and age. Anyway, pizza is stored in the balls. Which is stored in the balls. Oh, we're going off topic. Casper, I'm ignorant about a great many things, but I don't really fuck with stuff that I don't know that much about. I'll put it that way. I'm more than happy to say when I'm wrong as well. I'm not ignorant. I mean, I am ignorant about some things, but I'm not arrogant enough to say, oh man, I don't know this. By the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind liking the stream, I'd very much appreciate it. I don't know what the likes are at now. Is that 18? Come on, boys. Come on, boys. We can do better than 18. Rays, I'm just fucking around with you. I get what you're saying, but the world has moved on. Japan fucked around and found out. Japan been fucking around, man. Japan was fucking around with the countries around. Every country around Japan fucking hates them, and they haven't forgotten. How do you see Aspinall versus Jones playing out? I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I've said that all along. I genuinely do. And it's mostly because I think Jones is not as good as he used to be. Prime Jones versus this version of Aspinall, John Jones beats him, in my opinion. It's a scary world we live in. It definitely is. I fight wars every day with the reflection in the mirror. How does that go for you, bro? The Nazis have a base on the dark side of the moon. And what are they doing with it? Imagine not liking the stream. This is what I'm saying. It's free. And you're helping your boy out. We do have 58 votes on the poll, though, which is interesting. Dead Rising 1 is my favorite, followed by 3. I haven't played 3, but I've heard 2 was a disappointment. If I ask most people, they say that Dead Rising 1 is the best version. And it's the only one that I have installed on my Steam Deck, so that'll tell you everything you need to know. But yeah. Sorry if I went a little bit where are you at? I'm currently in the UK in a place called Cambridgeshire. But I was born in Ireland and I grew up in the dirty southwest London. Dirty south. Prime John Jones smokes Aspinall, but current should be it. That's exactly what I'm saying, Tinos. Tinos just gets me. How you doing, Shotty? What's good, my guy? Bring back Crazy Horse. What do you mean bring back Crazy Horse? There's a sick bar in Thailand called Crazy Horse, and it's fucked up. I'll tell you about it if you want to know about it. Yeah, 2 was pretty silly. I mean, still a good game, but 1 was incredible. Raze is getting Frankie to raise his voice is crazy. See what I did there? That's the most you're going to get out of me. I'm not really the type to crash out. It is about, in the end, of all the cards were down and which one was the most. You were talking about much more civilized war. You think that you. No, again, you're making you're making the wrong argument. I'm telling you, yeah, America would lose the technology war in terms of infrastructure being shut down. I'm surprised you can't understand that. That's how wars get won now. Nowadays it's all technological. It's all online, my friend. It's all in soft power. If you're talking about a based argument of who fires off the most bombs, everyone loses. There's no winner in that situation. Everyone gets blown up. Watch the interview with the member of the Pussy Riot. She was a Russian political prisoner, is now Pussy Riot. Sounds like my kind of girl, to be fair. 2 is still solid, improved in what 1 did. It just didn't, I don't know, man. It just didn't have that same feeling to it. Oh, Crazy Horses and MMA. Crazy Horse was amazing. The guy that knocked out Vanderlei Silva. Ayo, Minter, you. No, not Minter, bro. Don't come with the Minter. Mini Minter, yeah? Christ. That one hurts. How you doing, Clips for you? How's the weather there? I'm from India. It's really cold, bro, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Could Prime Nick Diaz beat JDM? I think it's an interesting. No, he gets beaten up for 4 rounds and then does like a nice little comeback in the 5th, but loses ultimately. I like Nick Diaz, but he's not a good fighter, is he? Oh, he's not an amazing fighter. He's a good fighter. There won't be anyone left to shut down their infrastructure if all the cards were down. Do you even understand what all the cards down means? You're just talking about pressing buttons, mate, and launching bombs. And again, you're oversimplifying the argument. Defense systems are fucking legit these days, and you've also got satellite weapons as well, which are more of an issue in my opinion. I might have to get some cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake. Frankie, have you seen the movie Freds? It's a terrifying movie about the new. I haven't seen that. I'll check it out. Is it worth watching though, or is it just a premise-based thing? Why do you think the USA won't win if the nukes? I'm not saying USA versus the Middle East. You've got bigger problems in the Middle East, mate. The Middle East are they're not a global powerhouse now. They've just got money, and they own half your infrastructure. Or sorry, they own half your businesses. 25% is a big chunk, mate. 25% of your economy is a serious issue. I think China would win the technology evolution. This is what I'm talking about. India would have a chance if they could sort their shit out, but they're crab people that struggle. They're too busy pulling each other down. A lot of countries have the capability to destroy the world. This is this American big dick thing that you guys can't help doing. It's, oh man, if it came down to it, we would fuck everyone. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. And you've got an idiot in charge. Not that really matters. What do you think politically about Japan? Japan is a fascinating nation to me. They're probably one of the only countries out there where you genuinely get a different feeling when you go there. Japan feels distinctly different from the rest of the world. Politically, I don't know too much about them, but as a nation, I give them a lot of credit for at least being themselves, and at least being innovative. They are fucking weirdos though. Crazy Horse DM'd my ex on Instagram and I texted him like, yo, you text my girl. And he was like, yeah, my bad. He said, my bad. I'm surprised he didn't double down. Satellite technology is primitive. It doesn't work against the most modern tech. Maybe you can enlighten me more about that. But I'm saying you're making an oversimplified argument saying that America is militarily the best nation in the world. There's arguments against that for sure. And it ain't just a bombs versus bombs argument, which seems to be what you're saying. If it came down to like, all right, we're fucked now, let's just launch everything we've got, everyone would be fucked in that situation, is my point. What is your suggestion you would give to Americans right now? Man, I think they need to sort themselves out internally first. I think there's big problems with unemployment. I think there's big problems with healthcare. I think there's a big race divide that's growing more and more every day. And it seems to be more of a religious thing than an actual race thing, to be honest. I would sort yourselves out internally, which I guess most nations need to do. Watch the new Frankenstein film, and it started off wicked, then super dragged on. I'm a big fan of the book, but Frankenstein's been played out, man. And I do think the director could have done, but there's no interesting things to do with that story other than change it entirely. But I hope they just stayed true to the book. I'm going to check it out at some point because I've got respect for the director. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to check it out, but I don't see how they could do anything too different with the story, unless they change it and then it's not Frankenstein anymore. In India, now there is dirty politics. The current government is so corrupt and got caught into scammer votes. In India, it's clearly a dictatorship now. I mean, I've got to break it down for you, Colton. To be honest, what country has a good leadership group? Genuinely, name a country that has a leader that gives a fuck about his people. I'll wait. Is it offensive if I want 12 lesbians and a sleigh and I could go for a sleigh ride? That's what I want for Christmas, bro. What are you going to do with 12 lesbians, though? What's your take on Brexit? I mean, it was obviously the stupidest thing we ever did. And the fact that the UK government put it into place, that they made us vote for it when they didn't want it in the first place, is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. It has affected this country so poorly. But hell, we survived. Good morning, Tiff. How you doing? Or good afternoon to you. How you doing, Ren? What's good in the hood? New PFP, I see. I'm liking it. We have too much faith in international law. If a country really wanted to come to words on paper wouldn't mean shit. I see what you're saying. Launch a meme coin. Nah, mate. I won't even monetize, let alone scam. Keep your fucking mouth shut is what I would say. Fair enough. No defense system is defending against nuke dudes. Iron Dome, the most advanced system today, is Israel. Nukes are supposed to detonate in the atmosphere. Wow, thanks for doing what I was gonna do. I think the point is it's like I said, it's just a dead argument, isn't it? Tiff, we salute you. Hi from Pyongyang. I wish you were from Pyongyang. Please don't hack my PC. What am I kidding? You don't have the technology to do that. North Korea are the biggest cappers on the planet. The Pale Man monster in Pan's Labyrinth is so creepy. It really is. It's just a nice psychological movie as well. Like, I really enjoyed Pan's Labyrinth. It's a bit of a drag. It's the kind of film you can't really watch more than once or twice. But it definitely slaps. In a conventional war, other things matter, but the USA is undisputed in it too. No, I disagree. The UFC wastes a lot of the USA wastes a lot of resources by being generally incompetent. Sorry if that hurts. Remember that scene when she eats the fruit and he slowly stalks her? That is creepy, man. The eyes on the hands, creepy as fuck. That movie slapped, man. That movie stuck with me for like a year after I watched it. Americans have some hope towards the New York new mayor. Also in the UK, the affordability is also an issue from housing to groceries. And Nuska is 100% correct. I think we can agree that America and the UK are more fucked than each other, are more as just as fucked as each other. However, the UK is smaller, which means we've got a greater chance of sorting our shit out. I took a nap. How you doing, Westy? Let's talk about Rice Krispies or something interesting. Cheerios, bro. It's all about Cheerios. Frankie will be in jail defending China. I will defend them to the end, mate. I'm locked in. I've got Chinese kids in it. There's no other. I can't break away from it now. I've got to defend them to the death. By the way, guys, just another quick reminder. You know I hate doing it. If you wouldn't mind liking the stream, I think we're at like 28 now, which is great. But we could do with a few more. If we could hit 50 today, that would be amazing. Americans love to chat about military strength until you bring up Vietnam. I mean, to be fair to them, that was like 40, 50 years ago, but they did get banged in the ass in that one. And then they go, oh man, the Vietnamese are so subservient to us. When we go in there, they're all friendly. Of course they're friendly. They fucked you up. Why would they not be friendly? They fucking bent you over a table. The best Americans can come out with is, oh, well, that was a draw. But it was a long time ago. Obviously, things have definitely moved on. I'm going to watch Pan's Labyrinth. Definitely do. It's amazing. Top tier movie, that one. Also, the scene when the general in that movie is genuinely one of the most. When they talk about evil characters in cinema, this cunt doesn't get brought up enough because he is dark. It's a beautiful movie. The ending is obviously very ambiguous, though. Very ambiguous. Only sex offenders enjoy Rice. If you got Rice Krispies in your fucking cupboard and you're you don't have children, you are definitely on the list. You definitely should be on some kind of list. Do you have Switch 2? I do. But I've only really been playing Stardew Valley on it. People will say the Switch 2 isn't worth it. I love the ergonomics on it. I love the size. And it seems very, very premium to hold, unlike the old Switch, which felt like a plastic piece of shit. So I'm happy that I bought it. KFC versus McDonald's. I would go with McDonald's just for the variety. You know, you can obviously get different shit. However, I do love me some fried chicken. China will sweep the world because it has projects in almost every country. Ahmad gets it. China have literally been quietly building infrastructure across the world that they own for decades. And they are ready to pop off. How you doing, Chris Kushman? $1 trillion military budget. China is second, 200 billion. Most warships, second most warheads, most airplanes. You're not going to let this go, are you, Rays? Hopefully, we never get to find out. I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there's more of a nuanced argument to the one that you're presenting. And China, I think, militarily and economically and technologically are ahead or going up to America. Today hasn't been a good day, unfortunately. I'm really sorry to hear that, Tiff. I hope things get better for you. What has made you upset on this day, and would you care to share it? Burger King versus Wimpy. I've never even fucked with Wimpy, to be honest. Burger King. Wimpy's dog shit, man. Cardboard dog shit. I want to play Pokemon Legends. I've got it. Apparently, it's very divisive. I've got a sealed copy of it behind me, and I'm probably never going to play it. I've heard it's like Pokemon Arceus, but just slightly better, you know, slight improvements. Dude, all the numbers favor US. Have you ever left America, Raised, by any chance? I'm just asking a side question. How you doing, Higher Observer? Burger King packed up and fucked off around here. Burger King went through a rough time. But Burger King is actually decent quality compared to all the others. China do good chicken balls. They do. Do you think Dana will allow Jones versus Alex? I think he will because they're both campaigning for it. And when two fighters want to fight that much and they're big enough to pull for it, if they both say we're not fighting, we're only fighting each other, they'll get it. And they both want the fight. So I think it happens. USA is on top for now, but I fear it won't be that way for long. In 25 years, I don't think they'll be at the top anymore. Frankie, when will you do a gaming stream for us? I might do a vote on it in the next week and see if it's something that people actually want to see. Because it would be entertaining watching me suck. But I'd have to kind of think of, first of all, I'd have to ascertain if you guys actually want to see that on the whole. And then secondly, I'd have to decide what game to do. You have all these games behind you, but you never played on stream. Most of these games are sealed, you know. I thought you'd fought like Pokemon. I thought you'd like Pokemon. You seem normal. I don't really like. The last time I properly played a Pokemon game was when I was a child. Pokemon Yellow and Red. I buy Pokemon games, but I don't play them, and it's because Pokemon games never go down in value. USA is bankrupted also. Please elaborate on that. Yeah, because if I switch my geographical position, the numbers will suddenly change. I'm asking. I said it was a side question. I said, have you ever left America, mate? That's all I was asking. Where's Hayden? I haven't spoken to him since Thursday, but he's still hitting me up, and we're definitely planning on doing something. Play Prince of Persia from the 80s. Remember, that game is so underrated. I will. I've actually got it on my Retroid Pocket. I'm actually planning on buying another Retroid Pocket for the Retroid Pocket 6 is coming out in January. If you're somebody who is a retro gamer, you need to buy a Retroid Pocket 5. Or there's an updated version of it now that can now play Switch games. I can't remember what it's called. Has anyone ever told you look like Elon Musk? Only every stream, bro. And it still hurts. What do you drive? I drive a Mercedes. What do you think who will win between Jones or Alex? I think Jones will beat Alex Pereira. This version of Jones, I'm not sure. But I can tell you who I want to win. I don't want to go for the rest of my life without seeing Jones so badly battered in a cage that we think he might be dead. And I don't want him to die, but I want it to be like, oh my God, I think he's dead. And then like next day we find out, oh, he's recovering in hospital. He's fine. He looks like Elliot Page. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not since I cut my hair. But I did. USA has a huge amount of loans to pay off. Few billions. I mean, billions aren't really anything to an economy of that size. But I know what you're saying. Billions ain't shit. I'm retro, but only in terms of my racial ideology. Man, you are something else. The one thing I don't understand is when I was at my niece's party, yeah, all the adults were playing Pokemon Go. I felt ashamed to be there. I felt ashamed to be in my family. I'm not gonna lie. We catch animals and make them fight. I mean, if you think about it, there is more to war than who has the numbers in combat. Having more bombs, warship, planes doesn't automatically mean you win. I do agree, USA is, but the reasoning you're using is wrong. I've tried to explain this to him, Shama, but he doesn't want to listen. But Americans, I do love America, and I do love Americans by and large. But Americans generally move dumb like that. Bigger gun. They're like Neanderthals when it comes to arguments such as this. But I do give Americans credit. The amount of self-glazing that goes on is amazing. Anyway. But yeah, but Ray, the whole point as well, yeah, you were acting like it was a very structured argument. It's a very nuanced argument. We were talking about two completely different things, I feel. Jones is a good guy. Yeah, Jones is a good guy. Of course he is. It isn't billions, it is trillions. And trillions, we keep getting more debt. But I mean, what's going to come of it, really? To be honest, Australia would be fucked if China invaded right now. Most citizens here don't even know how to load a gun. I don't think most Chinese citizens do also. When the Chinese take over, and we will, I mean, and they will, it's gonna be slow, and you're not gonna realize it until it's happened. It's one of them ones. Prime Mike Tyson in the UFC. Yeah, he does some damage, mate. So I have a question. I'm not from the USA, but I see there's black people say the N-word, but when white people do, they get in trouble. Like, why? What's wrong with that? Well, you don't understand, Poco, because for some reason, yeah, because of some crusty white men did several hundred years ago. By the way, black people owned slaves as well, and they sold white people to slaves, but we're not going to get into that. Because of what some crusty white people did hundreds of years ago, apparently you can't be racist to white people. And white people aren't allowed to have opinions on race, so they get called racist. Well, I was really holding that one inside. Who's going to collect that debt from America? I mean, Shotty's got a good point there. That's kind of my issue. It's like, who's going to come collecting? The Yanks got pancakes and donuts down better than us. I mean, they do have that advantage. But Americans are thieves when it comes to food. Who are your top 5 favorite YouTubers? You definitely wouldn't have heard of any of them, or most of them. I'd say they're mostly like footballing and gaming YouTubers. There are some that I really enjoy, but they're not really that well known. Millions of whites were sold into slavery in the Barbary slave trade, but school doesn't teach you that. 100%. It also doesn't teach you that it was black people in Africa rounding up other black people and selling those slaves to America. But that doesn't get brought up at all, does it? No, that door only swings one way. But obviously, racism goes on in loads of different facets. I'm not boiling it down to one period in history, but who is this tosser? How you doing, Charles Smith? I'm nobody, mate. As you can probably tell. Jews were the original slaves. Can they say the word? No, I don't think that's what it comes down to. It's like you can't say racial slurs are generally unhelpful. So why do black people say it? Well, they're appropriating the word and they don't use the hard R. They use the R, which makes it different, the A, which makes it different. Why do why do black people say it? I mean, if there's others saying it, they'll think it's normal and black people get angry. I don't think black people get as angry about the word as they used to. I think it's gradually becoming more and more desensitized. The word slave literally comes from Slav, and who are the Slavs? What football YouTubers do you watch Lee Gunner? I don't really watch Lee Gunner. I know who he is though. What foot? I don't know. I do watch DR Sports a little bit. I have to be honest. I don't usually admit that out loud, but Jesus, Cowboy is live. Title says episode 1, episode no live chat, and the audio is not understandable. You need to throw me up a link on this one, and we need to jump in here. Can Islam in current world be considered and/or a classified mental illness? No, Darius Lord, it can't. I see what you're doing here. I'm not going down this road. What's your favorite fruit? Whenever anybody asks me that question, pussy is always the first word that comes to mind. But my serious answer is white grapes. When you get crispy, big white grapes, there's nothing better. How you doing, Alma? What's good? How are you? How are you? And how are you enjoying your day? Euro, you know I love you, bro. How you doing? You Australian legend. Frankie doesn't know crap about any of it. So I was just starting with the basics. There are some things I'm ignorant about, to be perfectly honest. But I think we were arguing from a very different point. That was more my issue. We didn't start on the same basis. You were talking about, oh, if we start pressing buttons, basically, if we end up like, oh, it's all out war now, let's just blow each other to smithereens. It's a different argument. I was more talking about, and I think you've misinterpreted what the question was as well, or you've chosen to take it in a different direction, which is more likely. I have a question. How Europeans get in power and taken over other countries? Like, why other countries like the USA? Well, it was more like from centuries ago. Like Britain were doing the thing back in the day when political correctness and world governments and stuff weren't really a thing. Colonialization, mate. It still exists today. Frankie, you got to do an appearance on DR Sports with Don Robbie. I do think the guy's all right, but I don't really like him. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I could hold my tongue. You know how I am. Why don't you have a cheese toasty? I prefer getting like a tortilla and then banging cheese into that and then wrapping it up and then like pressing it. That's my go. But I do have toasties every now and then at work. We've got a personal chef there who does all of our stuff. I had a problem with the logic you used. I do agree a USA is on top. Yeah, I think he was focused on one very. He was basically like, all right, if it was all out war, what would happen? And I just don't see how that sustains a good argument, because you're basically saying, well, America would win the dropping bombs war, but he's acting like they would get away unscathed, which is completely fucktarded. Is it because you're a Newcastle fan? I don't want to talk about football right now, Shotty. I'm still very hurt in my heart. But I'm still Eddie Howe in, for the record, and I'm going to be Eddie Howe in no matter what, unless we get relegated. Then it will be a different argument. Yeah, but how do they get in power? Like, what was the other countries doing? I mean, it's a very complicated argument, mate. We're going back hundreds of years here. Anyone here tried Australia Vegemite? I have. I'll be honest, yeah, it's not really for me. It's not really for me, but I can understand why you're into it. I can understand why you're into it, sir. If we could get up to 100 votes on this stream, that would be amazing. And I think we haven't even hit 30 likes yet. What are we doing here? Maybe I'm wrong about that. It would be nice if we could get as close to 50 likes as possible, but I'm literally leaving in like half an hour. Yeah, if it goes to that extreme, it would become unconventional. Every military historian today, the first measure of a country's unconventional warfare capabilities before Frankie knows better. Well, I'm more saying that when for one country to dismantle another, it's gonna take several stages, and I think dismantling a country's infrastructure is where it would have to go. Vegemite, I'm telling you now, 10,000 bees. As a British person, you will be disgusting. You will be disgusted by it. Newcastle hooked my four leg lane. You should. Why you never bet on Newcastle to win an away game? We suck away. I don't know if you saw that link I dropped that you asked for. I didn't see it. I don't know why it didn't pop up, to be honest. It's weird. Frank, if you had to guess how big it is, I want to know how much you're packing. I'm the official meat measurer of the MMA community. You would be very, very impressed. I'll leave it at that. Vegemite is I. In a small spread on toast in Australia is Atty. Atty is 8. That's the most retarded thing I've ever said. I actually said Atty. Do you like Linkin Park music? Yeah, Linkin Park's all right. Wouldn't say I'm a big fan or anything, but they had some bangers back in the day, and anyone that denies that is a liar. Tea or coffee? I'm a tea guy. I like both, but I've been drinking tea since I was a kid. I only really became a coffee guy in my 30s. Nothing new ever dismantled infrastructure than an extinction, but you're very, very wrong about that. Everything is run on computers now. You could literally get hacked and have your whole country fall to shit in about 2 minutes if it was done correctly. I'm currently in an internal sexual war with myself and I'm losing. Rectum up. I've tightened a lot. I'm happy for you, Eamon. Sent a link to WhatsApp. Hang on a second. Let me see this right here. Do you know what? Yeah, I've seen his streams pop up. We are gonna raid this guy after we leave, which could be soon. Because Cowboy does subscribe. I've seen some of his shorts pop up, and he seems like a really nice bloke, you know. Tell him to keep streaming, and we'll raid him very, very soon, or we'll try to. Have a cup of tea. I don't really have anything at nighttime. I'm very, very like weary of eating or drinking too much at night. I do love a good bicky though, mate. It's not for me. I'd rather cut my dick off. You keep your Vegemite. Jesus Christ. You've just alienated the entire Australian community. You don't know how they feel about their Vegemite, mate. It's all they've got. It's all they've got. I don't think Casper is an Australian, but he might be. You dorks got to play the Metal Gear Solid series. They are amazing. To be honest, though, Shotty, I think Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 need to be remade because they have not aged well. There is no chat available in there, though. Fuck. We can at least get over there and show him some love. At least get him up to 50 subs so we can get a chat going. Kojima predicted the rise of AI, internet forums. And here's the thing. Let's just get down to brass taxes here. AI is going to wipe us all out. Yes, UK, London. Fuck off, Casper. Where in London are you from? As you can tell by my sexy fucking rhetoric here, I am also a Londoner or grew up there. Southwest to be exact. Metal Gear Solid 2 came out in 2002 and predicted but I mean fucking 1984 the book came out 80 years ago and predicted a Big Brother state and we fucking leaned right into that one. I think the USA has an issue with credit cards mostly because it's on debt. As default happens, economy can crash. I mean, there were people that thought the housing crisis would be. The problem is the way that economies are all tied together now. If the American economy collapsed overnight, the rest of the world would suffer as well, because we are all codependent. which is why I would have to say China has the best chance of taking over because they are internally sufficient. And I saw it when I was there. China doesn't need any of us, whereas we kind of all need each other for different things. And that's why China's going to be number one, whether we fucking like it or not, cunts. I'm from my mum's vag. We all are, mate. Although people are going to be singing a different tune. True, but it's like one of many aspects of war, and it's not even the most major. You keep focusing on that one thing, which the USA also... Again, the USA doesn't dominate that, my friend. They don't. You're wrong. You're wrong if you think that. You're definitely wrong. I'm in Essex, actually. I do love a nice Essex tart. I've got a great package myself. You would have to be 8 inches to shock me. I would shock you. I do not like the royal family. What's your beef with them? Casper, where in Southwest London are you? Sorry, where in South London are you from? Or did you say you're in Essex? So are you saying you're from Essex? That's not London, mate. But Essex is based. Oh no, China sure does need others. They really don't. I was there, man. I've seen it. I know you think that they depend on their exports. They do not. I am 155 centimeters, 5'1" tall girl. Am I tall? Not tall. I wouldn't say you're super short either, though. 5'1" is a nice height for a lady. I don't like tall women. They're not my type. I mean, not that you care what my type is, but you know what I'm saying. US is the tech giant. I can't deal with this anymore. I cannot deal with this. You are just incorrect. You are incorrect. Dang, Frankie is bigger than me. I'm doing okay. I'll put it that way. I'm doing very decently. I wasn't born in this country, though. So, Casper, where were you born? Sorry if I'm getting too personal, but it's just that kind of stream. We're definitely going to have to give Cowboy some love. I like tall tricks. Yeah, you always have your sick fuck. America is not the... You saying America is the tech leader is fucking bananas, mate. You've just ruined your entire credibility. Bro, I'm 6'1". Am I short? Because 1-2 got Poco, they're just haters, mate. They probably just think you're ugly. No offense. I care about your type, bro. Africa. Shout out to you. Where in Africa? Let's get specific, man. Most of my boys are African. Camera's going off for a second, but I'm still here. I'm going to do some cocaine. Not really. I was hatched from an egg on a mountaintop. I believe that, you know. I fully believe that. Shout out to Kenya. My mom was a nurse in Kenya for 4 years, and she absolutely loved it there. I look up meat percentage, and it turns out that I'm 90% a decent bit of... It's nice for you, bro. Dick size isn't everything, though. You look like a Minecraft creeper. I've never... Oh, do I? I've never played Minecraft. Nah, I don't do cocaine. I've never done drugs before. Squarehead. No. I mean, what's square about this? What's square about this jaw, mate? You're just hating now. You can say a lot of bad things. I'm not saying I'm a prize or anything, but squarehead is a weird thing to say, bro. My head has dimensions. Chinese dependence on the Strait of Malaya and semiconductors would be a good example. That's a good argument. And Indonesia can block 70% of Chinese oil imports. I mean, again, it's an over... Basically, if everyone shut their borders right now, I think China would have the best chance of surviving, was my point. Am I saying would they thrive? Of course they wouldn't thrive. We thrive from a global economy. But I think if everyone shut off their borders right now, that China would have the greatest chance of survival, in my opinion. Because they could use their own oil, and they could survive on their own manufacturing and production industry. Whereas most countries couldn't. Most countries depend on other. I'm not a sick fuck, Francie. I'm just a man with standards and requirements. No, you're trying to breed super children, which I respect. I don't know what world you're preparing for, but it sounds like Westy's ready for war. I could be wrong about the tech part, but which country has the most tech giants? I'd say that they're all based in Asia, mate. I'd say they're all based in Asia. I would argue that Korea is more technologically advanced than America. I don't want a big dick anyway. It would only get in the way when I'm skipping through town. Oh, you are the best. You can't sleep with the lights on. That's mental. I used to do that. I used to sleep with like a device on. I don't do that anymore. It's night, 4:12 a.m. So I'm assuming you're in India or somewhere like that. Japan is the goat of tech. Basically, things that are going on in Japan and China right now, America and even the UK don't pick up on until a decade later. Poco, it's Poco. Believe me, it's very normal around here. I'm sorry to say. Casper, Euro is a based Australian. So yeah, I got a lot of love. I got a lot of love for Kenya because, like I said, my mum was there for 4 years before we were born. She was a nurse there, and she speaks very highly of it. She said the people there are very, very just welcoming and lovely. So shout out to Kenya. Apparently, a very beautiful country of beautiful people. How you doing, MMA Powerhouse? If you're not subscribed to MMA Powerhouse, give the guy a sub. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And we are now very safely over the 1.6K mark, which I've got to say, can I shout out this community again? Much love to all of you for subscribing to the channel and liking the streams because it really does help. Apparently, I don't understand YouTube algorithms and shit at all, which is probably very obvious. I should probably look into it one day. But yeah, Poco, we're not gonna focus on it, is the point. You guessed wrong, it's Bangladesh. Shout out to you, bro. I've got a lot of well, not a lot of, I had one Bengali friend and he was an absolute snake. But I'm not gonna judge you on that. I'm saving myself for marriage so people wouldn't know. I've heard people say it doesn't matter. Well, as long as you don't have a micropene and you've got energy, enthusiasm, and you care about your partner, you'll be fine. Bro, what are you talking about? All this AI boom stuff is coming from the USA mostly. Japan is a failing society with low, almost zero. Again, it's a kind of a different argument though, Rick Allen. We were talking about purely technology. That's it. Purely hardware and software, really. But the AI thing, I mean, I don't really want to get into that because we're very new in the game to start talking about AI. The infrastructure of China is just amazing. You can't even compare the modern subway systems of China with the old, outdated, overhyped New York. And it's the same with the UK. Our subway system sucks absolute donkey dick. It's very old and outdated. I was talking about they don't need imports part. I mean, fair enough. I mean, we could go on about that all day long. Westy, I don't really want to go down the dick measuring argument. When the mods start doing it, we end up just losing all fucking sense of control in here. Israel runs the world by 2050 via blackmail and lack of ethics holding them back. God damn, Yuri. I love how you always find a way of fitting the anti-J argument into your... And fair play to you, because you are nothing if not consistent. Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, OpenAI, Apple are the biggest in the world, but there's no denying Asian countries, MOG, you don't even know, mate. It's because that's what you're used to. It's what you see. And there's still big Asian tech markets that do very, very well in America. America is, you're thinking about the things that sell within America and within the Western world, which is only a very small part of what goes on within the world. And that's the issue that Americans have in general. They can't look beyond their own borders, really. Which I get. I watched Terminator 2 again the other day. Fucking amazing film. Could come out today and would still be fresh and knew about the AI stuff. Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time. Japan has the best trains. They do. Purely technology, Japan isn't top anymore, bro. Maybe back when they were dominating. Again, again, it's nuanced. It's a nuance. I'm not even saying Japan's top. I'm saying that Asia generally are the leaders in technology. They just are. Shower. I'm not continuing this. Is it a beta male move to get a dick job? Yeah, do you, innit? Do what makes you happy. I think the USA as IT giants, but in technology, it's Japan, maybe Korea, because technology is overall. And again, it's a very complicated one, isn't it? Very complicated. Read the whole fucking thing. Raise, shut the fuck up, man. It's too long to read out, and there's other people that want to talk. I've kind of moved on from this argument, to be honest, because I don't want to spend the last 15 minutes going into things that are very. I'm not selective reading. It's just I don't have time to read out an entire novel, mate. And again, no disrespect. You're a very active chat member, and I appreciate you. But it's again, there's too much to get into here. I feel like we'd have to focus an entire stream on it and have a panel on it, and that's the only way we could really flesh out a lot of these arguments. Because I feel like all of our arguments are all over the place. You're talking nonsense, bro. Well, Rick Allen, that's a fair point to make. Because the argument is not focused at all. Dude, it was the most important part. All right, post it again and I'll read it out. I had a friend that used to know a group of guys that would inject their cocks with silicone. That sounds like a very bad idea. It sounds like you get size, but you wouldn't get much functionality. Go to Japan for amazing hanky panky. Japanese women are weird. For you, what countries are in? I don't know. Hello, you massive cow. Acknowledge me, you go. How you doing, Troy? What's good, man? What you drinking? Just water. It's Sunday evening. I'm trying to keep hydrated before I go to bed. I've got a long week of work ahead, and Mondays are never really a fun experience for me, as they are for pretty much nobody. You are comparing the largest fucking continent to a country. It is a false equivalence. You're the one doing that. You're the one talking about how America's better than everyone. You're the one making that fucking sided argument at all. You could make it a Western versus Eastern thing, and we can go into that. Asia as a whole is better, but it's a false equivalence. Fair, I mean, that's a fair point. I'm not going to argue with that. But again, I think it's just a very complicated argument we're having. It's all over the place. And I appreciate the fact that we're having it. I do. I like the fact that you bring some intellectual stimulus into this conversation, because it's better than people talking about their fucking dicks all the time. You're more likely to get bit by a snake than a shark in Australia. I mean, I think that's true in general. As a country, stop calling me dummy here, because we're just like, you're just going to annoy me, and I'm not going to want to argue with you. What do you do for work? I'm a professor of literature. I mean, dummy is a very mild thing to say. I don't know why I'm getting triggered tonight. Fuck Christmas. I love Christmas, man. Christmas is a nice time of year. He is getting a rise out of me. I don't like when somebody fucking throws arguments all over the place and then wonders why we can't keep things focused. I mean, I appreciate the fact that, things are flowing from one thing to the next, but there's no structure to what we're doing here. Bring any singular country instead of a continent. Again, you're basically saying America is better at everything across the board. Is that the argument you're making? I don't know what you're talking about now. Fuck Thanksgiving. I'm amazed that Thanksgiving hasn't been like, woke, knocked off the map, to be fair. I think now power will shift and China will become number one. Then I'm not sure, but India is also growing, but we don't. Again, I think if you look at overall where things are going, I would say China is kind of leading the way in kind of, certainly in soft politics right now. Hey, what's your channel about? Absolutely nothing, mate. It used to be centered on MMA, but now we talk about our dicks and about whatever just comes to mind. So if you feel like having retarded conversations that go nowhere, this is the channel for you. Tom Aspinall definitely should have fought. Changed my mind. If he'd fought on and lost, he'd lose money. He wouldn't get a title shot again. Now he's guaranteed another title fight. And what? Because a couple people think he's a pussy and bitched out. I think the consequences of losing were much worse than the consequences of potentially fighting on and losing, So I think he did the right thing. From what I can gather, this channel was about pizza. Pizza did dominate a lot of this conversation. Either Israel or EU. Israel's a different argument to me, or I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about Israel. But Chinese food isn't that good. It's weird, but noodles are good. I think Chinese food is a lot more complicated than that. The Chinese food that you see in America and in Western countries in general isn't real Chinese food. When you go to China, it's very it's like with anything. I suppose like with Indian food, you wouldn't get the same food there as you do here. You get like appropriations of it and what works for that particular country. Why Americans are so weak in geography? They don't know nothing outside of America. America is a great nation. And I feel like Ray's is getting annoyed because he feels like I'm dunking on America, which I'm absolutely not. But the Japan came up with the PlayStation. They will always be goated for that. End of argument. Gon was trained from Jones's eye pokes. He definitely got some inspiration. Fuck the people. What's wrong with? I can understand your anger about Thanksgiving, but what's wrong with Christmas, man? I never said the USA is a better. Okay, but even if you made the continents argument, if you took the whole North American continent, the others would just be weighing you down. Let's be honest. You just assumed it. I'm talking about USA versus. I mean, you've made that very, very clear, but that wasn't an argument I was making at all from the beginning. It wasn't. I haven't even started making any kind of argument. It's very dogs and cockroaches. I mean, fair enough. Like but I've said this from the very start, Razia. I feel like we're arguing about two completely different things, and we're not really arguing at all. I had fish and chips today. How was it, Casper? And what type of fish was it? Ban Christmas. Why would you want to ban Christmas? Tom did get fingered by an MMA fighter, and the irony is not lost on me. I'm not even that big of a Tom Aspinall fan. Bro is Lex Friedman after a pot of tea and crumpets. I need to start watching Lex Friedman more so I can actually see if it's a fair comparison, because I think people just think I look like him. Ban racist white supremacist religious holidays. Christmas is for everyone now, man. When we conquered India, why didn't we introduce them to air freshener? God damn. What are you denying then, bruh? I'm not denying anything. Your argument has ranged from America would win if it was a fucking nuclear war, which I was merely saying that everyone loses in that situation. I didn't even say America wouldn't win, which you were somehow triggered by. Then you went on to make the technology argument, which again is just incorrect. And again is more nuanced than the way that you're suggesting it. Are you denying for the sake of pissing America? I love America. Most of my subscribers are Americans. About 40%. I enjoy visiting there. I think you're a great nation. I was merely suggesting that the world is changing, and there's a very strong possibility that and nobody keeps their stranglehold forever. And again, it depends on what you see what the word powerful means to you on a global scale. St. Patrick's Day and Bonfire Night and New Year's is the only thing worth celebrating. So St. Patrick's Day is amazing. And I do love Bonfire Night. But why does fish and chips cost 20? Where did you fucking buy that from? And were they the proper fit cut chips, or were they those fries nonsense? Mosquito repellent doesn't work. Fuck those mosquitoes. Yeah, it works sometimes. I thought you said you did earlier. Thought I said I did what? Do you like plum cakes made during Christmas? I've never tried one. But yeah, shout out to the 40%. And shout out to Wisconsin. I would never, I mean, we're just having a discussion here. There's no, you're acting like I'm anti-America, which couldn't be further from the truth. I'm just merely questioning this idea that, I mean, Americans seem to, you're obviously very, very patriotic people. You believe you're world leaders and everything. And I'm saying that's not necessarily the case. And I'm saying that the tide is shifting. One, I never said that America would. I just said it's the most important aspect today fundamentally. You brought up the technological aspect of it, not me, hence my defense for America. But then you defended it by saying that America is the world leader in technology, which is just highly incorrect. It's an incorrect statement. Three, you went from China to Asia. I was merely focusing on China, but I did shift slightly to say that there are some nations within Asia that are very strong technologically as well. Winter is coming. It's already here, mate. Frankists are America's greatest ally. I completely agree with that. I used to know every country in the world, not counting tiny. It annoys me how bad most Americans are at geography. The Chinese are very bad at geography as well. You know, they have the same issue. And that just happens to be true. I remember the mother of my children thinking that Argentina was in Europe, and I'm not even joking. Winter never left England, and we love it. We love complaining, and it works out for us. How you doing, Mohammed? Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Everyone have cake. Rays, I actually appreciate you. Oh, you were just talking about US and China. Okay, so what's your argument then? Can we keep it streamlined if we're going to have this argument? I tell you what, Rays, actually, what might be a better thing to do is to actually, because you are obviously very. I'm not going to talk about intelligence here because that's unfair. You are clearly a knowledgeable person, and you clearly have knowledge bases that I don't have, and I'm willing to admit that. But all I'm asking for is like a funneled argument about what you're talking about. Just like keep it very specific, I guess. I found a new amazing history channel called Flashback History. You should check it out, Frankie. It's not AI slop. It's some former history teacher narrating. That sounds amazing. I do subscribe to some history channels, like certainly things that do it in a more like entertaining and kind of bite-sized way. The United States is goated. Most powerful nation and best geography. I can't really argue with that as well. America is a great country. And to be fair, this whole argument was supposed to be stupid anyway. It really is. It was meant to be stupid, and it was meant to incite dumb arguments like this. So I don't even know why I'm complaining. I feel more depressed in winter. That's interesting. I'm always baffled why people enjoy hot weather so much, because I find that it kind of drains me, and that I'm more tired and I find it hard to do things. Whereas in the cold, I'm more energized. So two things: do you watch PFL, and what do you think about London as a place to live? So Diz, I do watch PFL, kind of. I've actually been to a PFL live event. I really miss Bellator because I think it was just better. I think Bellator was really good to watch live, and that getting stamped out was a shame to me, but they did it to themselves. I do watch PFL, and they've got a lot of work to do. London is a place to live. I don't live in London now. I personally wouldn't live there, especially if you have family. Your streams are really fun and engaging. I appreciate that. That's really all we want. Like, we just want it to be fun in here for people to state their opinions. And I'm not trying to prove I'm intellectually superior or more knowledgeable than anyone, because I would ultimately fail in that, because there's a lot that I don't know. But the one thing is I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to listen to other people's opinions. And I'm not all about saying, oh, well, I made a better argument than you. Because if I can learn something, that means that I'm smarter today than I was yesterday, and smarter tomorrow than I will be today. Or maybe not smarter, but certainly more knowledgeable. I think Americans might know geography better than most of the world, and perhaps the stereotype that most Americans don't is ironically an ignorant take. I think what it probably is an ignorant take. I would say what really started that argument is just, the view that most Americans don't have a passport, for example, and aren't interested in visiting the rest of the world, which doesn't really matter because America is so huge and geographically diverse that you could probably live for 100 years and not see every part of it. I heard about Giuliano being arrested yesterday. I hope the final straw makes him think about things different. Giuliano being arrested yesterday for what? I asked, acting like that couldn't be any kind of possibility. I'd rather be cold than hot, 100%. I just feel more functional when I'm cold. I think now a powerful country is China because they hide mostly their weapons and other things. And that's the thing. China gets away with a lot more than people realize. China isn't as accountable as a lot of other countries are for a lot of things. Because China gets away with shit you shouldn't be getting away with in the modern era. Copywriting, technology stealing, all that kind of stuff. China doesn't give a fuck. China does not play by the rules. I mean, US technologically today, I mean, Rays, I mean, do you not see the poll? It says USA and still. If that's what we were arguing about from the beginning, we've been arguing on the same side basically. I still believe USA is number one now. I'm more talking about the way things are trending and what's going on in the background and where we could be in like 25 years. America is number one now. Nice, but you would have to argue though that the lead that America has is withering somewhat. I think we can agree on that, right? That America was clearly the most dominant nation 20 years ago. It was the leader in everything, and now the gap is definitely closing, and you can make arguments that other nations are closing the gap. Have you ever seen a Komodo dragon? It's a big lizard. I have. Nice accent, bro. Where are you from? I'm originally Irish, but I grew up in Southwest London. So shout out to you, Robert. Where are you from? Asia as a whole is easily above the USA. But and Raise, that's a fair thing to say. If we were talking about the entire, if you're saying nation for nation, you're right. But I never argued against that. USA is as a singular nation, there is not a nation that is more powerful than America right now. And I agree with you. Who do you think is smarter, you or Giuliano? I think we've already proven that. But I'm kidding. I mean, I was just pissed off that day and I was just annoyed that day, to be honest. Depends on how you view intelligence, I guess. It's clear to me that America is transferring their wealth and power to another country and preparing them to become the next leading superpower. Can you expand on that? The western side of China is converting to Muslim religious. China is trying to hide that fact. I watched a video on it. It's not that Islam is definitely growing in China, but it's so small. And I'm saying this as somebody that lived there not that long ago. Wait, Giuliano got arrested. Are you serious? Let me message Giuliano and see if he messages back. Let's settle this right now. Where is Giuliano? Sorry, my colleague is just messaging me. Who you got for next weekend's main event? Wonk, I'm going for JDM, but I'm not brimming with confidence. And I don't think anyone should be. Giddy sent me 20K to bail him out, but I'm just going to keep it. Shout out to Black Betty. Not that he deserves it. Not that he doesn't deserve it. Have you ever watched The Patriot? Very good movie. Very good movie. I'm a big Heath Ledger fan as well. R.I.P. Super Shotgun. Yes, Giuliano got arrested. He's in custody in LA. Drug and possible prostitution charges. Nah. I mean, if he was going to be arrested for something, that would be it. Make gulags great again. That's all I was talking about from the beginning. Raise, that's why I was quite surprised that we were disagreeing, because I felt like we were agreeing from the same place, but that we went off on a tangent and it just got out of control. Well, China will overtake the USA. So the whole point of this poll was to say if anyone is going to overtake America, who would it be? And my argument is that China has the greatest chance from where things stand now. Can we agree on that? Some of those things won't change even in 100 years. Fair enough. Bosh, sup, Big Frank? How you doing, Chris Gray? You're fucking Canadian legend. London's you know. I can't do a Giuliano impression unless I have to be a little bit more sleepy. Come back to me. I'll try and do it. I texted him. Yeah, I sent him a message as well. Supposedly, experts are saying the richest, most advanced country in the world will be India by 2030. It's Indians saying that. I tried rain sleep. It actually worked. I told you, bro. Try the rain. And the thing is, here was the sleep better than you've ever had? Yeah, I heard Giuliano got put in the same prison as P. Diddy for unspeakable Jeff Molina types. Again, would any of that surprise us? No free speech is in the shithole of the UK. The greatest piece of legislation ever written by the American Constitution. I 100% agree with you. And free speech is becoming a problem in the UK. The fact that you can get in trouble for what you post. I've never met anybody who's been pulled up on stuff like that, but apparently it is happening. When I was a kid, I used to think that every American is living a life which is shown as the American dream. I mean, you could certainly argue that in places like America, you've got more of an opportunity to make something of yourself than there are in a lot of countries, but there's always going to be restrictions and caveats to that. Can we agree that the belief that an educated, wealthy society like America that has societal studies as a requirement in their curriculum likely is not weaker than the rest of the world in geography? Yes, I can agree with that 100%, JA. I don't champion that view that America is ignorant about global geography. I don't think that at all. How you doing, Steve? What's good, my man? Are you back at work at the moment, and how coked up are you right now? We disagree on what makes somebody powerful, though. Again, I'm sure that's fundamentally true. And that's, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're wrong though. I have a different view from you, but I wouldn't say that you're wrong in believing it is the way you think it is. You know, we should do we could do with a war here too. Many angry nerds need to let off some steam. Yeah, I love a little bitch every now and then. By the way, 105 votes. Shout out to all of you guys. I'm gonna be heading off very very soon because unfortunately I've got work in the morning and I do need to get to sleep. Monday is always a rough one for me. We are doomed, bro. Kevin, we absolutely are. Steve, can you try sending that thing you have in a minute? Um, Frankie is not funded by the CCP. I'm absolutely not. I'm on my third day off. I go back tomorrow. So I'm assuming that's what you do. Yeah, you have stretches of like long days off and then long days on. Caspar, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you, bro. Thanks for popping by. Shout out to Kenya. Shout out to you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I appreciate having you here. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you will be back because you've been a highlight tonight. So thank you very much for pitching up. I sent the money back to Gilly, so once he sends it again, I'll say, what the fuck is going on? Has Gilly really been arrested? Can we get into this right now? And 10,000 bees. You are the fucking man, my friend. You are the fucking man. I love having you in here. You've got a quirky sense of humor that I definitely vibe with. Frankie, do you wear your small hat? How dare you? See, that's why I'm thinning on top here a little bit. What are those little hats called, by the way? I'm going to pretend right now that I don't know. He's been missing in action for days. So I like that everyone jumped to prison and not just like, well, hopefully he's not dead. I don't want to be thinking like that. But in like a drug-fueled prostitution binge, which is more than likely. Maybe he's just taking a break. Is it true that Indians coming towards the UK so much? We do have a very big Indian community, but to be honest, we always have. We have entire areas that are Indian dominated. Like for example, when I think of London, I think of Tooting. Tooting is very Indian. I don't know why I had to say it in an accent. That's a regret. Do you play any games? I do. At the moment, yeah. I'm playing Tetris 2 on a Retroid Pocket 5. I do game a little bit, but not very much. And considering how many I own, it ain't a good look. You are right. Waking up in the morning on Monday always sucks. It does, but to be honest with you, Fug Life here, when I get through Monday, I kind of feel like the week is done in a way. I always have that attitude because my view is like, oh well, it's when you wake up on Monday morning, it's the longest possible time of more work, if that makes sense. But once I get through the first couple of periods, I'm like, well, we're getting through the week now, and then when I get to Sunday, when I get to the end of Monday, I feel like my week is almost, the worst part of it is over. Most like Giuliano is rambling to himself, is only a long sleeve shirt and his undies, pacing around his apartment, sipping Starbucks pink drink. Giuliano definitely has a lot of what's the word? Vices that are troublesome. But I've said this all along. Argenti is a friend of mine. I tend to focus on the positive aspects of his personality more than the negative, because I genuinely think that despite the amount of times he's been a massive bellend, and he has, his heart's in the right place. I just don't think he realizes what a fucking skid mark he can be sometimes. But I know his heart's in the right place, and I know that deep down, he's a decent bloke, you know? Yeah, too many here too. No, bruv, I don't mind. I don't mind Indian people at all. Like I said, I dated an Indian girl for 3 years. I mean, she was British Indian. She wasn't like fresh off the banana boat or anything, but like you can see how in US they take Indian and have issues. You see how it's even going violent. Some saying Indian taking our jobs. I mean, ultimately the people who are best at the jobs tend to get the jobs, usually. So if somebody is Indian and better than us at the job, then we need to fucking step our game up, really. Stop whinging like little pussies. On a lighter note, striking or grappling, I will eat you alive if you say grappling. I Oh, yeah, I'm with you, man. I go with the striking all day long. I will say this though, in a real life situation, I think grappling tends to be more successful. You know, if you're fighting out on, if you get into a fight, because I tell you now, yeah, I've surprised dudes that are way bigger than me by going for a leg and taking somebody down and just dropping them on the back of their head. Because if I try to get in a stand-up fight with people, I'm getting battered because I'm quite a small dude. I mean, I'm vicious, but I'm a small dude in relative terms. But I have taken down guys way bigger than me just because they didn't expect it. So I don't want to start arguing with you again because it was quite exhausting. Um, Tuesday morning is the worst for me. Done a day, still 4 to go. Fat Karen's at the office giving me grief. Almost time for a Secret Santa. Do me in right now. Oh, fucking hell. Secret Santa is the worst. It is the worst. But it is an opportunity. Secret Santa is an opportunity. If you get somebody who's somewhat hot, you can use it as an opportunity to lay down some pipe game. That is so true, Frankie. And even when Giuliano doxes someone, you can tell he's not doing it with bad intentions. When he doxes somebody, sometimes it can be. I'm on both sides of this. When he doxes somebody, sometimes it can be really vindictive. Like if he's arguing with somebody, he can use it to be vindictive. But a lot of the times he does it for no reason whatsoever, and it's just him being dumb. Because he can be dumb sometimes. Frankie lost to glaze other races but his own. Nah, white people are all right. Immigration keeps wages lower. It's a genuine. I completely agree with that. It is a genuine complaint, and it's a fair thing to say. Immigration has positives and negatives. The issue with Indians is that they take whatever pay. Like they're happy with a lower salary than average in that market. That does become an issue, but then that is where our society needs to make sure that we're putting protective measures in place. So unentertaining though. Oh, I prefer striking all day long. It's a star. I sound Indian now. Betty, you and I have definitely got to meet up at some point. I don't care how it happens. It's got to happen. Privately, of course. Destroys the housing market. Literally nobody believes you can win a fight. That's fine. I don't mind. It's not something that I really care about. There is nothing you can say to me. I am so content within my own life. You thinking I'm gay, you thinking I'm a pussy, you thinking I'm broke means nothing to me. Because ultimately, I'm very happy and content within my life. I've got a beautiful family. I've got a great job. I wake up most days being very happy to go about my day. So you thinking I couldn't beat somebody in a fight means absolutely nothing to me, bro. So suck my dick and like and subscribe. Indians in tech are not competing for jobs. Once one gets in management, they hire only their race and should be punished by breaking discrimination law. Again, that comes down to what the mistakes that we're making within our own country. You know, you can't blame somebody for having nepotism or for having racial preferences when Frankie dropped me in a bar fight. You had it coming, Betty. But no, shout out to you, bro. I think you overemphasize the importance of technology alone in this day and age. I think you don't know the prominence of other things and feel it's a thing from the past, but we are still far from it. I think you're underestimating the impact that technology has on your infrastructure within your country and how devastating it could be if somebody who didn't have your best interest at heart were to get in there. Whoa, you're not a trophy to brag about. Okay. We can't let this druggie keep getting away with this. With the doxing, you're 100% right. Giuliano needs to be made perfectly clear to him that doxing of any kind, if he has any personal information on anyone, he needs to shut the fuck up or be excommunicated from the community. And Lane is right about this, whether you do it correctly, whether you do it on purpose or by accident, it's still a cunty and stupid thing to do. And you should face the fucking consequences of that. Thoughts about Nick Fuentes? I don't really have much of an opinion, to be honest, mate. Has nothing to do with me. I'm not allowed to do our Secret Santa. I took it too serious one year and broke into my colleague. Oh, mate. I believe you actually did that. Nobody that eats beans for breakfast is going to beat me in a fight. I don't eat beans for breakfast unless it's in an English breakfast, in which case you've got me on that one, sir. But I'm not one of those peasants here that just gets a piece of bread and puts beans on it. I'm a bit more sophisticated than that. Why are women so fucking outwardly emotional to others? It's not always the case. The great thing about emotional people is they can be manipulated. And that's what men of the world need to realize these days. Tell me something personal. How blowjob feel like? I never did it, but you have an experience of how it feels like when your girlfriend. Well, Poco, I'm gonna be honest with you. Blowjobs are all right, and they can be amazing if in the right hands. It's more of a power thing. We saw the truth about Aspinall. What was the truth in that? Casual Zach, it was the right decision to make. Giuliano is a gentleman. Are you Giuliano? Because I feel like only Giuliano would say that about himself. Angry Frankie. I'm known to get angry once every so often, but I'm mostly in check of my emotions because I don't really care about stuff that most. The things that I care about are very, you know, they're very personal to me. Why would corporations pay money to import foreign workers if they have to pay the same? Regulations would just be the same as hiring native. Think, Frankie, think. Again, yeah, I feel like I've got to have you on panel one time. To one time, we can just have like a really decent discussion, like fucking argument, just a discussion. I was kidding, but you got all emotional. I didn't get all emotional. Why do people say that I get emotional? I'm the most chilled out motherfucker there is. Frankie about to Zidane that fool. I think me raising my voice is the closest I've ever come to not crashing out, but like showing any emotion on this channel. Spread them. Not on Sunday, sir. Are you British? Yes, I am, Cade. Nice to meet you. Custard or pudding? What do you mean by pudding? Because pudding, for me, like, represents a lot of stuff. Depends on how you use that word. So opinionated. And I'm sure you know and heard about Nick Fuentes. Come on, dude. I don't know enough. The thing is that I've heard about him. The reason why I'm not making an opinion about it, Andre, is because I don't know enough to have a formulated opinion, if you know what I mean. That's more what I'm saying. I don't know enough about the situation and would come across very ignorant very quickly if I stated an opinion on it. Oh no, I completely understand. It's very crucial, but I think it goes hand in hand with other things, contrary to how at least you make it seem. I think you're acting like the ability to bomb someone to hell completely outweighs the technological aspects of the war that we're the not the war, but like the differences in what one country is able to do to another has. You seem to say that because we have more, I don't really want to get into this too much again because I feel like we've already donkeyed it to death. But I feel like you're saying that that is the be all and end all when if we're ever likely to go to war or into a world war, that's going to be the least likely thing to happen. I think. I think it's going to be a lot of seeds being planted, and he was doxxed and almost killed. Talking about Nick Fuentes, I did not know about this. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why I didn't want to get into it. Yeah, I don't know that much about it. I tell you what, though, bro, I will look into it because I did not even know that happened. Blowjobs are better than blow careers, 100%. How you doing? How you doing, Ribovix? What's good, man? I'll just say that because it seems most women who interact with Giuliano have a positive view of him and seem that like women are. You are definitely Giuliano, and that is completely untrue. There are many women that hate him, but the thing is, yeah, that's not even me again dunking on him because usually when you interact with a woman and it doesn't last, they're not going to come out saying amazing things about you, are they? I don't want to make this all about Giuliano tonight. In fact, I'm getting ready to leave now. How you doing, Kyrie? Beans on toast is a war crime. It is. Beans is at its best when you mix it with something else. Self-doxing for clout is a thing, is it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind people knowing where I lived if I lived by myself, but I don't. Oh, that's not what I meant. I think tech. So there we are. We're basically back to the same thing. We Rays, you and I have managed to be arguing about the same points, but in different ways for this entire stream, and somehow thinking that we're arguing with each other when really we're not. But Rays, can I say, yeah, thank you very much for actually bringing this to be discussed about, because I think it's been interesting going back and forth with you, and you clearly know your shit, and I appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I am gonna Franken Beans. That was actually one of the names the channel almost became, believe it or not. Self-swatting. Self-swatting. Yeah. Some of these fucking streamers these days are completely out of control. Anyway, guys, I want to say once again, thanks so much for turning up on a Sunday. I'm sorry that I pitched up so late. The next time I will be on is most likely Tuesday. If I've got time tomorrow, I might pop on, but it's more than likely going to be Tuesday. Shout out to all of you once again for all the support that you continue to show the channel. Thank you for liking the stream. Shout out to Kyrie as well and his channel. If somebody could throw a link in, I'd really appreciate it. I'll be back on Tuesday. The thing is, this stream mostly had some interesting conversations about it. And I really appreciate the fact that we're doing that now. It's great that we're it's not just all about fucking trolling and all the rest of it, because we've had some problems with that over the last few weeks. But Tuesday. I pronounce it correctly, cunt. All right? But no, shout out to you, Fug Life. You've been amazing. Rays, I really appreciate the fact that we've engaged into a really decent conversation here. I appreciate you, man. And I hope you'll come back to have some more. And Rays, you are always welcome to jump on stream. We'll have to do that at some point. Just have you on just to have a discussion about things in general, because I feel like there's a lot that you could teach me. And I'm always open to that. I'm always open to learning and growing. So shout out to you, bro. Thanks for making it so interesting today. Hey Tiff, have you worked out a time when you're gonna potentially go live, or is it not in your view at the moment? And have you heard from Dirty Boy Argenti in the last few days? Because apparently he's disappeared. How you doing, Marky Mark? Shalom to you, sir. No, I think that not enough of the indigenous population are entering that line of work in accordance with the demand. So it's filled with foreign workers. That's also a very true point as well. I mean, people from certain nations do tend to favor certain types of jobs. Shout out to the 40%. Shout out to the 8%, 52nd percentile. Take note. Bottom line, shout out to America, the still greatest nation on earth. And shout out to everyone, really. Yeah, I'm interested in linguistics too. We can talk about the origins of English if you like as well. That would be amazing. Tino, I'm still heartbroken. We were shit today. I'm still how-in, and I'm still going to be how-in for as long as he wants the job, in case you were wondering. Anyway, guys, much love to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Shout out to Tino ABL Datun, who has a wonderful football channel. One of the best in the game. Somebody that is one of my favorite YouTubers. So you coming in here is a personal highlight for me. So shout out to you, bro. Tiff, people are saying Giuliano is in police custody. I've been considering tomorrow afternoon. It depends on if my ex comes and gets the kids. There's no way I'm having them on stream. Even for Tiff, I have the same thing. I only stream when my kids are asleep. But yeah, I've got to go. I've got it's nearly 11 p.m. and I've got work tomorrow. I've got to be up at 5:30. So you didn't really miss that much, Tiff. I had a really good conversation with Rays, which was really, really fun for me. I've enjoyed it. I might have crashed out a little bit. I have to go back and look at it. Nap, really appreciate having you here. Casual Zach, it's been nice to have you popping in and trolling me, bro. As always, shout out to everyone. But yeah, we will be back. When I say we, I will be back on Tuesday. Like I said, if I've got time, I might pop on tomorrow. But Mondays usually, actually, I won't be on tomorrow because I'm taking my mum to the cinema. So I won't be on tomorrow, but definitely Tuesday. Good to see you as always, Tiff. Good to see all of you. It's been amazing. Did I say that Tiff was thick and juicy? I don't know if Tiff is thick and juicy. I've never seen her. I've got no idea. And I wouldn't say that about somebody in person. I'm actually thinking of only watching cup games because in the league we suck, especially away we suck. And the worst thing is, yeah, Tino, we've got Manchester City next, and we're definitely going to lose that. And we could be in the relegation zone by next week or after the international break, which is scary. Anyway, guys, much love. I have to go now. Tiff, let me know if you decide to go live, because I'll try and make sure I'm about. Maybe hit me up on Twitter or something. Guys, I see you guys on Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. If you wouldn't mind liking the stream before you bounce, I'd really appreciate it. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. And shout out to all the creators. You'll see them in the description of this channel. Have a wonderful rest of your week.